Oh, okay. There we go. Woo, man. See, I just need to get used to controlling this stuff. All right. Can you guys hear me now? I I tell you, I'm still new to this whole thing, so you guys are going to have to forgive me for that. But anyway, sorry for the delay, but we're finally live. And today, as you see by the title, we're talking about George Floyd, the man that is causing all the attention all across the world. And I must admit, for black people to say how much they're hated, this guy sure is getting a lot of attention. Seriously, I've never seen this before. I've never seen this many protests all across the world just for one man. Like, seriously, especially, I don't know if you guys have looked, but George Floyd has a criminal record that's like goes years, and I'm talking years. Like, this guy was basically in prison for 5 years because he had broke into the home of a pregnant woman. A pregnant woman stuck a gun right to her abdomen with his friends and robbed her of her jewelry and would have robbed her for drugs and probably would have killed her if she would have attacked him. And these people are rallying behind this guy. Like, I'm just curious as to what these people are possibly doing all this looting, protesting for just one man. Like, I don't get it. But we're also talking about light skin saviorism too, because you know what? I knew it was bad, but I had no idea it was this bad. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not condemning them for standing up for this guy. I mean, do what you have to do. But it's like I was now. Don't get me wrong. Not to toot my own horn here, but I follow a lot of light skinned women on Instagram, and there's this one. She's caught my attention because she's posted a lot of eyebrow raising posts. She's basically spent ever since this whole situation caught wind. She's been spending days upon days just telling people, "Oh, I'm mixed," and just because I'm mixed, that doesn't mean that I'm less black. And I'm like, "Oh, oh my, come, please, just stop it." And don't get me, this chick also, from what she said, has an all-white family. But you know, it's funny with Doja Cats. It's always, oh, uh, her name is Cat Christian, I believe. Yeah, she's your prototypical pro-black biracial, and she's like super. I mean, super light. I mean, if I were to walk, no, she's like an Instagram kind of person. Her name is Cat Christian. But if you were to go out on the street and see her, you would think she's Hispanic. Like that, when I first saw her, that's what the first thing that came to my mind. Oh, she's Hispanic. But she's your prototypical self-hating mixed girl. She's just going around posting black power fists, saying, "Oh, I'm just as black as the rest of you." I'm like, chick, please. If you got cast in a movie right now as any black person, you would become the stereotypical white supremacist mixed person. That's just the thing that I just don't understand with a lot of these people. And it's not just them, it's everybody. Like, I'm all over social media, all in the world. And all my Facebook friends and all that, it's like I've never seen this before. It's like pro-blackness is just everywhere over a random guy, just a random person. She's not. It's always the biracial savior. Yep, pretty much. Well, I think you can just fault that more on who's raising these people. I can't stand biracials that try to be pro-black. Oh, well, you know what? You see, they're just playing a role. I mean, we see how people are reacting to Doja Cat. The black community really doesn't give you any leadway in situations like that. It's either you rock with us or you don't. I've heard that so much. What, you have to be black? Yep. Technical difficulties, but we're live finally. So would anybody like to join in? Starting to be cliche at this. Very cliche. Very, very cliche. I don't get it. But you know what? If you guys look at my thumbnail, it's basically two people. Anaya Blanchard and this other guy. I think I saw the story from one of Anon Black Man and Light Skin Motivations, like commenters on one of their videos. His name is George Young on the left of my avatar. Well, not avatar, but my little channel thumbnail. And this was a very interesting story. So basically, this was a 43-year-old light-skinned black man, and he was married to a black woman. And this guy had like a very, very nice lifestyle. He was working, had 3 kids, and was basically producing for. But this guy was killed. And I bet you guys are wondering who he was killed by. Well, basically, his wife basically had an affair with what we would call, well, you know what, the Pookie. And the wife and the Pookie set it up where they could kill him. And the Pookie and the wife at the time could take control of his assets. So it's basically a quote unquote good black man getting betrayed and killed by a dago and a black woman. You think you would hear about this because if you look, this story is Black Manosphere Gold. And it happened in Atlanta too. So you think they would be talking about it, but nope. Because I'm willing to bet you, had these two been white, oh yes, that would have been one of the pro-blacks instant talking points. See, white people view you as a ninja at the end of the day. But once they were black, oh, nope. I wouldn't have even known about this story if it wasn't for the commenter on Anon's video. And that's the scary thing. It's like stories like this happen a lot, but you're not going to really hear about it, especially from pro-blacks, because we all know how they are. Yeah, it was a messed up story. I mean, I was so mad when I read it, I just couldn't even think straight. But I guess that's what happens when you're a quote unquote good black man and you try to mess around and try to save the community and its inhabitants. That's what usually happens. They throw you under the bus. She used them for what she could get out of them. and threw them away. And I'm sure there are a lot more stories like this. Well, I haven't seen them, but there are plenty more stories like this in the world. But you're going to have to really look, because the black community is going to hide it whenever they can. But the second story was a story that I'm sure a lot of y'all heard about, Anaya Blanchard. Now, this one, I was following this one from like the very first time that it came out. None care about light-skinned black people's death unless you are biracial. Nope. And you know what's funny? You're not really. I think in a way that can kind of be blamed on light-skinned people's cultural habits, maybe, because I could speak as a light-skinned, fully black man. We're a dying breed, basically. And you're really not going to hear it, because if we went to any black community in the neighborhood, and I want you guys to comment, who are the people that you see light-skinned, fully black people with the most? Because I've seen it, I would say 9 times out of 10, there was somebody that's much, much darker than, and I'm talking in regards to the men and women, not just the women. Oh, what's up, Beige Unity for Life? Yeah, I'm back, buddy. Back and better than ever. Emancipation says we are becoming like the Native Americans. Pretty much. In my neighborhood, light skin motivation says in my neighborhood, the men are with Hispanic and Asian. I'm with a dark skin. Yeah. Well, I don't really know who we could blame for that, honestly. I think this just all begins and ends at the fact that light skinned people just don't have each other's backs. But they sure are backing this George Floyd. I mean, this this is just amazing to me how many people are actually backing this guy. Like, he's not the first person that's died by the police. And the fact that these people are just constantly begging and fighting for him. And it's like, you can't even say, if you say anything, and it doesn't even have to be anything bad. If you even whisper something that goes against, you're canceled. And this is something that I believe applies universally. White, black, whatever race. If you say anything now against him, oh, you might as well just pack your bags and just walk away. These people, they just don't have any tolerance anymore. Kiragache Jones says, I confirm my light-skinned self has always been attracted to white and Asian. Well, I mean, yeah. I'm attracted to a lot of different groups of women too, but I prefer, how do I explain it? There's like a difference with me. There's women that I'm attracted to, and there's women that like I'm really attracted to. But from what I've seen, light skinned men are just all over the place as far as dating goes. So emancipation says we don't, but we have other groups back. Yeah, emancipation. I'd have to agree with that, because that And you know what? It reminds me of another story. Janice Harris. It's funny how quick these, like all these stories of light skin or biracial people getting killed. Yeah, they get talked about for like one day and then boom, they're just gone. Up in the air, just poof. The only time they really seem to care is when they get killed by the cops. And to be honest, they really don't care then. They just lump you in. All right, well, let's see what these comments are saying. Kira Jones says they were very aggressive in pursuing me. Well, yeah. I think in a lot of cases, if you outside of the black community, if there's other groups of women that are attracted to you, they're just, it's going to be hard to say no to them because I've noticed they seem to be just, they'll throw themselves at you more. Okay, what's emancipation saying? Light black men are being replaced by biracial men in media. Well, yeah, that's kind of true in a way. But to be honest, light black women are the group of women that I would say are just non-existent in the media. And I remember having a conversation with my mom, and she said, name just one light black woman, like fully black woman in the media. And I was stumped for a minute, like, hold on, let me, and I couldn't think of any. And you know what? That's just goes back to what I said about how the black community is just only going to talk about what they want to talk about. Because if we look, most of the women in the media are biracial. Like, how many light-skinned, fully black women do we really see in the media? And to be honest, I still can't really think of any. And the ones that I do think of that are kind of in the media light, you might as well just say they're just waffle-colored dark skins because they don't do nothing but pander. Like Beyonce, Amanda Seals, like you might as well just call them dark skinned because there's nothing light skinned about them. No, they really don't care. They care more about dark skinned women being represented more than themselves. This just goes back to the light skinned saviorism. And you know what? It's just crazy to me. But if I were to guess, it could be maybe because light skinned, fully black people are kind of just, there's just not really a lot of us anymore. And I think that can just once again be blamed on our dating habits. A non black man, a light skinned motivation say even Beyonce is mixed. Yeah, she's mixed too. Creole. And even in her case, she is one of the biggest light skinned saviors in the industry. Oh, Beige Unity for Life says Angel Ramirez. Oh, you know what? Beige Unity, you just, you just had to bring that guy's name. You know what? I was just looking at his videos, and that guy, I just can't even stomach looking at him anymore. Like, he's just, I've never seen a light skinned man that just panders to the black community like him. And you know what? I was just looking at a video of Crystal Swirls, and she was calling Puerto Rican. It's like, I'm looking at him, dude. Like, what are you really accomplishing? At the end of the day, you're not the man that they want promoting you or promoting them. That is. So, what exactly do you think pandering to black or dark skinned black women is really going to do? They'll just use you for what they can get out of you. And then the second they do, they'll toss you away. I mean, we could act now. Colin Kaepernick, nobody was even talking about him, but now that this whole little George Floyd situation is came back up, now everybody's bringing up Kaepernick, and unfortunately, Kaepernick is right back on the scene. He actually, Beige Unity for Life says he actually made a video about mixed race people in a positive way. Well, in a way, yes, but when we're talking about light skinned and mixed people, I don't think the whole pinning us as just as black as dark skinned people is just, when you say that, you're really shooting yourself in the foot, because let's be honest, we're not. They just use us. Once they get what they want out of us, we're out of the picture. And you know what? That's funny because all the light skinned and mixed women that I've seen on social media have been talking about this George Floyd situation, and that we as black women need to unite. But just last month, Rashida Jones was the stereotypical light skinned savior taking roles from dark skinned women. Oh, good. I'm confused. Yeah, I fixed my whole audio issue. Yeah, we're live now. Alicia One says Stephen Brown is a dark skinned savior too. Yeah, he is too. He's another one. All he does is just pander to dark skinned people. It's like, why exactly? He's about as light as you can get, and he's just talking like, "Oh, I'm just as black as you." Like, and the funny thing is, I just be all through his comments, and people say, "Oh, well, you're just a light bright." That's what they call him. Is funny thing is, he's got a large dark skinned woman following too, and they're very anti light skinned woman over there. I mean, they hate light skinned women on that platform. And the funny thing is, a lot of the people that comment on his videos, I happen to see on swirling pages too. I'm confused. Said, who we roasting tonight? We're roasting everybody, buddy. Nobody's safe today. Whoever we can roast, we're roasting. But right now, we're about to start roasting these light skinned saviors, because they got their case out and they are blowing in the wind with this whole situation. Any other time, light skinned women are these people that are just taking the dark skinned woman's precious dark skinned man. But now that this whole George Floyd situation is, oh, it's unity time all of a sudden. Oh, we need to unite as black women and black people. I'm like, but weren't you guys just saying that light skinned women, like their presence just makes y'all scared? What? Like, let's not forget that this just happened not too long ago. Like, the intellectual dishonesty here is just mind-boggling. But you know what? It just begins and ends at the fact that we're not reproducing enough. That's just all it ends. Ain't that black man in light skin motivation say, yes, I'm sure he'll have you hating light skinned women. Yes, he will. I not to Michael Torres, not to really control what you watch, but I would not recommend him. He's just, it's like he's just one of the biggest light skin saviors on YouTube. I mean, the dude is just delusional. I stop on his page every now and then, but I just can't take it. Even someone in this chat blocked me, so I know. Ain't I'm black man, a light skin motivation sake. We also have to stay away from careers that allow black people to dominate our careers. Facts. Yeah, facts. You know what? And that's the thing. Like, I think that's probably why people are so mad at Doja Cat. Because if you think about it, she really doesn't need the black community. She's got just as big of a white following, if not more. Like the way people, I was in that little chat room that she was in, and I didn't see or hear anything that these people were talking about. If anything, she was the one that did it. Beige Unity for Life says, you know, one thing I realize dark skinned black girls give me more problems. I never had a light skinned girl talk about it. Yeah, same here, bro. Like they 1 second they're crying about colorism, but then they're the main ones that have something slick to say about us. But boy, if somebody like Chris Brown, he whispers something about good hair, he becomes the biggest colorist on the planet. Like he had one little song lyric, and people said, "Cancel him, cancel him." Like, dude, really? So you guys are basically saying he don't have good hair? Ah, I saw you on friends videos talking. Yes, go pop, rock, electric. Don't go R&B. Don't do predominantly black movies and sitcoms. Yeah, yeah, and I agree. But you also have to think these people have got movies like Black Panther, Us. I mean, look at Us for instance. I mean that I have yet to see a light skinned movie or show with two light skinned men, or no, a light skinned woman, a light skinned man, and light skinned kids. Never seen it. But dark skinned people have Us. They have Black Lightning. They got, let's see, what's the other movie? It left my head for a moment. Did I say Black Panther? They got Black Panther, they got Us, and they got Black Lightning. And I'm like, where's the light skin versions of all these movies? Oh yeah, sorry, I made a mistake. I meant light skinned men and light skinned women. It's like you never see it. I have never seen a show. To be honest with you, this may shock a lot of people, but I really don't see any shows with like a light skinned male, like strong father figure. I've never seen it. Like, can you guys at least name one? Because I can't think of one. I've never seen. I was just looking at Good Times. James, he was dark. The Cosby Show, Bill Cosby. Well, if we want to count Martin, he wasn't. He definitely there wasn't a light skinned man in that show. Everybody hates Chris. Let's see. I know there was the only show I can really think of, and a lot of people don't even know about the show, but it was called The First Family. That was like one of the first shows that I saw that a light skinned man. He was the at the time he was the 44th president of the United States, and that show barely even lasted 2 seasons. Like 2 seasons, really, and it was. I like the show. I really did, but obviously it didn't last. And the funny thing was, that was like one of the first roles that I saw Yara Shahidi in. I think that's how you say her name. And she was young. That was like the first time I ever seen her on that show. It barely lasted for 2 seasons and it was canceled. I have yet to see another one. Naturally, Stace asks, do we count Uncle Phil as licensed? Uh, no, I mean he he's kind of like tending there, but I wouldn't say so. No, the show Smart Guy. I've never heard of that. I would have to look that one up. But Amazing Secrets, what's the show about? Because I've never seen it. So does anybody want to join and chime in on the subject? I got my stuff fully ready. I'm ready to go when you guys are. Let me see. I can post this link real quick. Okay, thanks for joining A9 Black Man and Light Skin Motivation. Make sure y'all tell me about that next stream too. All right, there's the link. So anybody that wants to join in can chime in. Okay, but got a little off subject, but what are you guys thinking of this whole George Floyd situation? Because I remember saying this at the very beginning. If I'm willing to bet you, if George Floyd was light skinned, this would not be getting as many media coverage as it is. It's like they found a guy that he looks like he could play in like a house slave in a slave movie. Like seriously, he's got the exact phenotype. They found the blackest looking dude they could find. And now he's the new face. I don't even think Trayvon Martin was this bad. People weren't even rioting and looting like this for him. But this guy, he's just got everybody in their feels. Like, dude, I understand, like, police brutality is a problem in this country, but to just sit up here and say that as a black person, that's the main thing that you're going to be worried about. That, really? Like, dude, serious. There is nothing. When I step out in the public, I'm not thinking like, oh, the police, they're going to kill me. When I step out in public, there's only one group of people that I'm on guard when I walk by, and I'm sure you guys know who that is. You know who, and you know who sympathizers. I'm going to try not to bring them up too much today. It can get worse than that if. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if we have another story like this soon. It seems like that Ahmaud Arbery case, people just, once they saw that little live video of how he was acting, they just moved past him. But now this guy's the new face of it. So I wouldn't be surprised if soon there's another like high profile police death. But you know what? If these cops don't get prosecuted, we might as well just move up to a cabin somewhere. Because these major cities like the city I'm in now, they're going to be war zones. I'm confused as it's because we all seen it. It can't be denied this time. Nope, not at all. I mean, I'm not taking up for cops, and I hope they do get charged with murder because that was just murder. Like I don't know where they got those guys from, but putting your knee on a man's neck, that's just I don't see how they even made it in the police force doing stuff like that. If you and you know what's crazy? Minneapolis is like a capital city for police deaths. Like a Somalian man, he killed a white lady not too long ago from there. And another black man from a couple months ago just died in that exact same city. So man, what's going on in that city? They all got second degree. Well, I remember G. Lowry said that they on the autopsy he said that he had pre-existing medical conditions. So there's still a slight possibility that he could get off. And if that happens, these people are going to be breaking in people's houses looting next. Watch. I hope they just do the right thing and just charge them. But from what I've seen, they've already been charged. So that's just another thing that just makes this whole rioting situation stupid. Because it's not like where they just got off. I mean, they got charged already. What are you guys protesting for? It's done. It's over. How you can, dude? I don't get it. All right, what's up, A9?
What's going on, man?
And you know what? I'm just losing my mind over here, man. My all this pro whackness is making my head spin.
Man, look here. I had to learn when I first started doing the channel, and I did one of my first lives without licensing motivation. How people talk smack and get you all, riled up. Man, don't let it get to you. Stick to the facts, and we call it a day. I just some of the comments, I just felt like it needs to be addressed. That's why I came in here.
Oh, really?
So apparently, it looks like Emancipation is talking about light skin motivation. So I kind of wanted to address that real quick.
Oh, really? I wasn't paying attention. What exactly was said?
So basically, she's one of these girls, like, she thinks that, no, if you want to highlight some comments, just go look at her name and you can highlight the comments. But basically, she's of that.
Oh, hold on. I think your mic man muted real quick. Hey, nah, I think your mic dropped real quick, bro. Let me see if I can fix it. Hello? Can you guys hear us? Type 1 if you can hear me and A9. Wow, we were doing good. I was hoping this thing wasn't going to start up again. Okay, good. Okay, looks like A9's having some mic difficulties. Okay, so A9 will probably be joining shortly, but so I'm confused. You want to chime in, bro? Because I know you got something to say about this, my Midwestern brother. I think I still got the link. I think the link is like towards the top of the comment section. Let me see if I can find it. Okay. Okay, I'm going to post it again real quick. Okay, there's the link. Anybody else that wants to chime in on the situation is free to do so. But until A9 comes back, I guess we can talk about it. The light-skinned saviorism. Okay. All right, join up, emancipation. I'd be interested to hear. Oh man, here he is.
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
What's up? I'm confused. So you got anything to say about this whole George Floyd situation?
Yeah. So like I was saying in the chat, all charges actually have been upgraded, and the other officers, they are being charged with felony aiding and abetting a homicide.
Yeah, you
So
know what? That's the thing. It's like, what are these people still protesting for? They've been charged. They're going to jail. It's like, dude, really?
yeah, I mean, I think the protest should like at least like be on pause. Like honestly, look, let me tell you something. This shit actually is egregious. Now we could have our light skin, dark skin debates and all of that, but you know that shit could happen to anybody. Yeah, I actually do agree with the protest, and I'm not okay with the looting part, but the protest, yeah,
Yeah,
like
same here.
this shit shouldn't be going on. Like that was just like I said, it was just so egregious. Like he put his weight on that man's neck for like 8-9 minutes and stood there and just sat there, and then the other officers they standing there clearly, you know, being lookout. So
You know what?
they should throw the whole book at them, honestly.
You know what? I would just love to see the person that was just sitting there and just recording the whole thing. Like that's just not something that you just let happen, like right in your face. They
It's
could have
not.
easily.
I mean, you know, people are scared, man. I get it. Like, I mean, you know, it's like a bug's life. You know, what Hopper said about the ants. Don't let them realize how much power they got, or they're gonna get out of line. I mean, I get that, but at least we got it all on footage and from multiple angles too. I don't know if you've seen the other videos. That's what really did it. Like the other officers were holding his legs and stuff. Like, so that's why their charges have been upgraded as well too.
Yeah, I'm glad they got charged because that was just indefensible, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's completely indefensible. So
It's not really. I don't really fault the protest. It's the way these people are just acting like this is just an everyday, every minute kind of thing. Like cops are just out shooting us down, hundreds by the boatloads. That's the only thing I fought.
well, yeah. I would say, yeah, because it's definitely not. The numbers ain't there. Now, only thing is, which I understand black people's gripe is, it seems like like justice, that's what it's all about. Justice is never being properly served. I get that. But yeah, to act like it's just straight open season, like, no, that's not what it is. That's not going on like that. And it still pales in comparison to black on black crime. I know people don't want to hear that, but it is what it is. Don't nobody and do you honestly look say that black on black crime is proximity bullshit? To tell that to somebody who had a bullet come through their window and kill a child. Don't nobody really give a fuck about that. Like you don't care. You just want it to stop.
Hello.
Okay, hey, emancipation.
Hi.
Yeah, how you doing?
I came in to chime in on any subject.
Okay, I'd love to hear what you got to say about it.
Well, there seems to be discrepancy about you and I have a topic of discussion in a chat room that it becomes amplified.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I guess I wasn't paying attention, but what was going on?
Well, I had a discussion and about someone blocking me, but I was being modest about it without mentioning the person's name because I didn't want to derail your conversation. So the other person told why they did what they did. And as far as, yeah, it's really not a definite, hold on, it's an echo, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Is that better?
Do you have like any tabs open in the back? Perhaps that might be the problem.
Okay, let me try and see.
Okay. But anyway, you were saying I'm confused.
Yeah, basically how I feel about it, like I actually understand the protests, and yeah, you know what? It needed to be done, but all this damn rioting and looting and shit, like it's getting on my nerves. These fools they fucked up out right down the street. Now I live in a supposed, well, I actually do. I live up in a nice community. I do. I live in a great community, but they right up the street. There's trash. Still cleaning it up down there right now. People on the block. It got too close to home, pissing me off.
Yeah, I can speak on that too because there's like a clothes store that's like right down the street from my house, and it's all boarded up. I don't think these people realize like the repercussions of a lot of this. Like black people's reputation is already messed up as it is. This is just about to send us plummeting down.
Oh,
We were
man,
fine.
look, man, you already know. Give it some time. It's gonna be this year, probably at the end of the summer, that the same old complaints are gonna be filed talking about economic strife and like nobody's being where everybody's being like put down economically in terms of race and blah blah blah. But I'm like, hey, did y'all have to like go after stores within all the looting and rioting that had nothing to do with nothing? Especially because like you at a deficit, that black people are in an economic deficit as a group. So you would think that black people wouldn't be tearing up stores and shit. And we just came out of lockdown. How many people are on unemployment right now? Like 41 million and growing.
But they just shot themselves in the foot because we were starting to do a little bit better, but now all these businesses. Oh, hold on, he dropped. Okay, so
I think he hopped out accidentally.
Oh, so you were saying emancipation? I think we were talking about light-skinned women and fully
Well,
black.
I was in the chat room and yeah, she jumped on the topic of what I had in the conversations, I guess in other chat rooms on other message platforms. But it depends on, that's where it's hard to have a deliberate on what exactly she was saying because it was like kind of cryptic.
Well, it might not be so much. I think they're just trying to get like unity, but I think their distinctions do need to be made, but I don't think it should be at the expense of further division because we already got enough people against us as it is. We don't need to be at each other's necks right now.
No, I think, I actually think that, right. No, and that's the thing. If I have a conversation on another platform and someone feels some kind of way, especially if I didn't go on their platform and say anything that feels some kind of way, if the first thing you do is block someone, that's not coming to terms with whatever it is that I mean. That's the thing. I don't even know what it is that made her feel some kind of way.
Well, I guess they probably don't really like the whole light skin versus biracial thing. I mean, it may come off a certain type of way, but just have to be a little bit more distinct with it, I guess.
Yeah, but I think it seems like it's all on her terms. It's like, I mean, everybody should be able to deliberate the way they want to. It may be uncomfortable, but at the same time, I mean, she's not biracial herself, and she's taking on this identity as if everybody's supposed to agree with something, and she's not even biracial herself. She just took on the identity of mixed, which again, I'm not here to tell someone how to identify, but don't act brand new as if like it doesn't affect you either. Because I mean, it boils down to it. I mean, if she's not biracial, I mean, why is she coming off it as if I'm saying something that's going against her? Because actually, it wouldn't be going against her because she's not biracial herself. So just by saying that other people are getting more jobs, that's not divisive. It's the truth.
Yeah, I guess so. It's definitely.
If I can't say so, I can't say that light black men are not getting jobs. That's divisive.
Oh no, that's not. Well, in the minds, if you said that to like the prototypical like pro-black person, they would probably say that it is. But some people, they really don't want certain.
Yeah, because the
like,
thing
things to
is
change.
that enough light black women. When I say light black women, hell, I could be mixed myself, but I'm not saying I'm mixed, and that could be for my own personal reasons. But let's just be very clear. A lot of light skinned men have been forgotten themselves. I'm trying to be an advocate for light skinned black men also. And the only reason if I say or have distinctions is because that's like lumping you with Drake. You're not getting that type of promotion like Drake or the other biracial men. So even lumping yourself with them, and that's fine. You know, you can be like, oh, I like these people. But if you don't see yourself on TV and stuff, why would someone be against me saying that? Unless there's an agenda there. We're supposed to just go and forget who we are. And it doesn't have to say black, but if it means, if you want to say you're a part of a collective, are you getting any promotion in that collective? And that's all I'm asking. Why can't we speak on people? And then the fact that she was dismissive about it, that's like saying to you, well, you create your own platform for light-skinned black people. So I guess that would mean that she doesn't support light-skinned black men either.
Yeah, I guess. But you know what? There definitely is a lot of like light skin issues that need to be talked about more.
Yeah, there are a lot of things to be discussed. A lot. I think that it's not, if we talk, just be honest about it, casting and stuff like that is definitely not at the top of the pyramid of what should be discussed. But I'm gonna be honest with you. If someone's having that sort of talking point, then you shouldn't even call yourself light then, because it's like you're trying to still reap the benefits of saying you're a light person. So if you're light and you didn't have anything to do with like any blood quantum for you to be light, then don't say you're light then. If you want to go there, because that's a classification for people who are black who happen to be light. So if you want to say you're mixed, then don't say you're light, because it's still like you're trying to graft on my identity and yours. But then you want to be flip about it and tell people, well, I don't want to. Why don't you do your own platforms? Okay, well, fine, you can go there, but right now you can't afford to be as abrasive, because right now even people besides her are not even getting the hate. It's usually the biracial women that's getting most of this hate, and you can't afford to push away even the few light people who are trying to be part of these platforms, because all we're going to do is just link up with the other dark skinned women and say, hey, you know what, we see that biracials are replacing light skinned women. Hey, maybe we should go and team up together and call this out. why would you want to push the few people that you do have away, all because I talk about casting? That just sounds to me that you just basically don't want to talk about it because I guess, I don't know, she thinks that people would look at her as biracial or something. I mean, if I'm sure we could look at your hair and call, that's what I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. So I'm not sure he came on here. I'm not sure why he came on here. If she had a problem with it, she can talk to me. But
Well, I think part of it has to do, like, a lot of people don't really want to like cause a further strife between light skinned biracials. I know my channel is pretty much geared towards like us really just coming together and speaking on issues that affect us as a whole, because there's like certain issues that there's certain issues that some people don't really want to talk about. Because
I agree.
if I went to like a random person and said, "Oh, light-skinned black men aren't getting promoted," they probably would just come in with that whole, "Well, he's a brother and he's black too. You should be happy that he's getting promoted all since we're all brothers." And my response to that would be, would you be saying that if I went to a dark-skinned man in the 80s and he said that, "Oh, light-skinned men were in the 80s. So why exactly are we supposed to turn around and just accept something that they wouldn't dare accept?" Like, if dark-skinned men weren't getting promoted, we would hear about it every day. It would be one of Twitter's infamous talking points.
Right. And then also you could say, okay, well, if a person too, when it comes to even that conversation, I mean, for all accounts, it's like someone saying about how people like to bring biracial into black spaces and stuff like that. I almost had to say, well, is that the same with biracial saying they bring them in black spaces to say they're light skinned black? And then if I see that, I never had a problem with it. But if I'm seeing that if you coming in and you want to be flipped, well, actually not her, but I'm just saying in general, you could come and go and say you're light skinned black and reap all the benefits, whereas you as a light skinned black man can't even get an acting job or whatever. I feel like it's like you're on a losing end because even the same dark skinned people would rather have them on something than even you. And I mean, we can talk about even dating. This even can translate even into dating aspects.
Yeah, true.
About light skinned men, they always posting a certain phenotype of light skinned men.
Well,
So where do you fit in that? Now, I'll be honest with you, don't get it twisted. Like I said, I don't even have a phenotypical look even of a black person myself, but I'm not going to sit here and act as if a light chick that has more bigger features than mine, she may get passed up.
Yeah, I guess I can agree with that. But we have to factor in there's a lot of issues with like light skinned people as a whole. We have like a varying set of phenotypes. And there's going to be winners and losers. But as far as I could say, it really just ultimately depends on how the person's face lines up. But
right. And I think that also it plays into why people may favor certain types of people. That's why I said that you can even say there's colorism within colorism, but let's not talk about it. It makes people uncomfortable because the very same light people who talk, they don't even like even being that type of light. They want to be more ambiguous. You know what I mean? They talk about people, revere people that don't even look like them. They don't even talk about the same people that are supposed to be them, like Beyonce or Rihanna or whatever. You don't even cover those type of people. But you talk about people that are more ambiguous, probably looking even than you. So where is oh dude? He said he was gonna come in here. Where is he?
Well, I'm confused. You know what?
I'm not. Well, I think he's there, but a non or whatever.
Well,
because I don't understand if she has a problem with it, she should have a discussion about it. but she runs to him to talk about it. I actually never had a problem with him. I actually think that he's going over and beyond to, have a discussion, but she's on some a whole nother frequency where it's like, okay, if you have something to say and then you don't go for it, you just block them. That's not rational. And again, I don't think that she's actually helping the cause by doing that. All she's doing is putting a bigger target on the very people that's just getting hit up all the time, and all she could do is hide back and be like, well, I'm technically not biracial, so I can tuck my head. So now you're going to put a bigger target on mixed people because you choose the black someone and not have a discussion about it.
I think in terms of that, it really depends, because a lot of people lump like light skinned and mixed people for the most part just get lumped in whichever category the black community is going to fit us in that.
Well, see, and that's another thing when you say mix. Some people use that with biracial too when you say mix. But we it's kind of synopsis. You can kind of go between it, but I think when you say light skinned black, they think, oh, you're like looking like, I guess, a Congoloid light person. That's not the truth. So, like I said, I don't know what I think true mixed people are like people who have maybe a biracial parent and then the other parent is black. You could possibly say, well, there's an admixture there, or, whichever the case. But still, if you're over 50%, it's almost like, okay, yeah, you could say you mix. But at the same time, they're still going to, like someone like Beyonce is still going to say she's black. But even if the same very people that's trying to compare themselves to her, they probably don't even have a family history even like hers. And I have a history of people that's mixing my lineage, but it's like, it's kind of like, again, I just think that there's a lot of nuances that could be discussed, like even colorism within dating. When it comes to light skinned people, like when light men probably want to date, they probably want a certain phenotype. So vice versa. Or it's hard being friends with other light chicks because maybe they want to be the token in the room over you. So there's a lot of things that I think in the light spectrum, even with biracials, they could probably contest to this too. Biracials don't even have allies with each other.
Yeah, they really don't.
They don't.
That's the thing.
That pisses me off.
I really don't want to like throw the biracials away because I have a lot of biracial followers and they're very loyal to my channel. It's like I said, my channel is pretty much for light skin and biracial people. I'm trying not to like divide us because I know if we're divided, there's not really going to be too many people that really have our backs. So it's really, my channel is just to drive a wedge together to keep us from, because at the end of the day, if the only thing they're really going to see is your light complexion. The only time they're really going to have like a complete issue with you is if you are racially ambiguous. But at the end, like you see with Amanda Seals, she has
and that's another thing. She has a phenotype that's like a mixed look. And my thing is, the very people that talk about they're mixed, they don't talk about her. You notice that?
Well, she looks like your phenotypical black woman, though.
Well, yeah, but you know what I mean. Like you could look at her, and then she looks like she's in a certain range. As far as her features, like she's not like in a black, I guess in an American sense, yeah. But if we step out of the United States, she wouldn't be seen as like a typical black woman, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, true. She probably wouldn't.
But even then, it's like the very people that have that type of phenotype, it's like, well, you don't want to cover them. And she's probably more mixed even than her. But see, she wants I guess she thinks by saying she's mixed, she thinking that people going to look at her like she's biracial, and they're not. Not a textbook one.
Well, I think biracial is technically because if we want to be honest, I try to provide distinctions. Like if you're black and you have a parent that's a different race, that means automatically you're mixed to me. But in the black community, a lot of people say, "Oh, well, they're just as black as dark skinned person." I'm like,
No,
no.
no, they're not. No, their whole experience and their life experience is different. So it's like they they don't. I don't know. I just think that there's a lot of. I think that biracials, for the most part, they don't have each other's back. They don't have a lot of times. They don't have light skinned black people's back. Most of these platforms started by light skinned black people, so it's kind of like, for me, I feel like there has to be a reciprocity. Like, if we have advocacy, it should be returned. I think that we always, as light skinned people, just give our advocacy for nothing in return. And even darker people realize, well, if you're going to be here, you need to X, Y, and Z. And I think, and I'm not saying they should be rigid like that, but I think that if we put our necks on the back and creating platforms where we burning bridges to a certain degree to other groups of people, then it should be a reciprocity. Like with these celebrities, they always, like these biracials, they always seem to go straight to dark skinned people and team up with
Yeah,
them.
true. I don't understand why, but I
They
remember.
always do. They go past us. If biracial should be talking to anybody, it should be us. It should be us before they even talk to them.
Yeah, they should.
So see, I'm not trying to go there with like be like a Chrissy, but my thing is, if you're gonna keep going around us and then talking, and you have these saviors talking about, um, oh, I have privilege and I need to acknowledge my privilege. Well, that's a different type of privilege, honey. It's not light skin privilege. But don't let like black people in this, or even hell, I could even say mixed people that may be multi-generation mixed, maybe down the line or something,
Yeah.
Creoles and stuff.
Mhm.
Their experience is not the same as yours. And don't say you have privilege. And yes, you may have a certain kind of privilege, but that doesn't mean every light skinned person, and that needs to be called out.
Yeah, but I think that actually can be more blamed on like the parents that are raising them, because I think in a lot of cases there's most of these people's parents, like back in like a couple years ago, that there was more probably quote unquote light skinned couples that weren't as black community identified, but now a lot of times they come from like dark skinned savior parents that just put that
Mm-hmm.
whole pro black ideology on them. And I've
I was gonna
seen that
say,
in action.
biracial Freddy Krueger. We know it's not all of you. It's not all of you.
Oh no,
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 I'm saying that she's saying not all of us. And we know it's not all of you, but see what hurts is that you got some that's even going over your heads and not having unity even with you. You
yeah,
know?
that's true. I've heard your story, and a lot of them will say, "Oh, well, you're just one person," and that doesn't apply to all of us. We have to be really mindful with those people. They can't be
Yeah.
the ones speaking for us,
And you
regardless.
know they're dying out there. They're out there in protest and dying. And it was a light black chick that had her eye, I think a rubber bullet had hit her eye, but you notice other people didn't talk about it.
Well, that contradicts their whole narrative. They got to have
They'll
us
say,
thinking that.
oh, white people are not marching and stuff like that. Yeah, one died.
From what I've seen, it seems like the both light skinned and biracial people have been the ones that have been the loudest with this whole situation.
Yeah. Then I saw a woman, she was older, she punched a cop. I don't know if you've seen that video. She had hit the cop, and then they went and kind of ransacked her.
But I wonder. But at the beginning of this whole stream, I was talking about this biracial girl. Her name was Anaya Blanchard, and she had went missing for like a couple of weeks.
Oh, yes.
Have you
Yes.
seen that story?
Yes, that was so terrible.
I was following it the whole time, and I remember looking at this one. I think his name was Akatunde Nation.
Yes, uh-huh.
And I could tell his whole like followers were getting ready to just hop on her because they thought, oh, that a white guy did it. And I was like, well, maybe a white guy did do it.
Yeah.
And then they finally had released the guy had killed her, and I was like,
I figured, what some told me. I knew who the people were, even before it happens, because they felt entitled to her.
And you know what? I had already knew the second I saw the killers were, oh, yep,
I
nobody's
knew
going to
it.
be talking about it. And
Yep.
that whole story, once they saw it, they were just waiting. Like if it was 3 white men, oh, the pro Blackisphere would have ran with that story like crazy.
Well, you know, the narrative seems to be now in the media is anything that's black on black crime, they don't want to talk about it.
And I remember, like, I'm sure I was in a stream with A9 Black Man who light skin motivation, and this guy, he was on there talking like, oh, name a story with an innocent person that was killed by Pookies and Ray Rays, and that story just instantly clicked in my head because from by the looks of it, Anaya Blanchard was not a troublemaker at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know what happened, but somehow, some way, she got like involved with those guys, and one killed her, and the other two concealed the evidence. And once people figured out they were black, it was that whole story just fell. I was stunned. I thought people would be talking about it more, especially if you look at like their whole rap sheet. I mean, they had a rap sheet that was you could write practically a book how many charges they have.
Yeah.
And they were just I don't even see how they were out. But again, it contradicts 3 narratives. The whole dark skinned people get longer prison sentences narrative. And the
Why
whole
isn't nobody saying that they probably commit more crimes? That's probably why they get longer sentences.
yeah, right. And you know what? They basically had killed her, and now they're just now finding. And I looked, the guy that aided helping her getting killed got off again. Antoine Fisher, they let him out
Mm-hmm.
once again. I'm like, wow, what does this dude have to do to finally go to jail?
You know, that's dark privilege, but you know, no one wants to talk about that. They're
Oh,
protected. They're a protected class. I don't understand. They say we're privileged, but I don't see the privilege at all.
me neither, honestly. But you know, they at the end of the day, like we both said, these light skinned saviors are putting the battery in these people's back. And Amanda Seals, she's
I
just
know, and you know, she is, but you know, it's so hard to. I feel like with her, you want to ring her nigga because I remember she was talking about the colorism when someone attacked her and called her colorist, and I recall she spoke up. Actually, she spoke up for herself. She didn't, you know. I thought that she was going to be a you know a savior when it came to that, but I recall she spoke up for herself. So I just don't understand. I think for her, it's like she sees herself, oh, I'm black like you, and everybody's gonna see me as black the same way. And I believe every time something happens, Lonnie Love is the main culprit. She did this with Tamar Braxton,
is that the one from the View, I believe?
the real.
Oh yeah, yeah. Now I remember. Yes.
So I feel like that there's some prejudice going on with Lonnie Love, and she gets away with everything. Just like when she attacked what's that girl, that chick that was on there?
Shan Booty, I believe.
Yeah, she made a statement. Oh, that's your white side coming out, and I thought that was very disrespectful. And then, of course, I think Tia was just kind of blown away by it. You know, Tia just seemed like one of these girls that's been raised, you know, and raised right, and she probably like, what is she talking about, you know? And then she's gonna say, oh yeah, Tia, you know, I kid around with you and say the same thing, and I'm just like, and she just, I don't know, it just seemed to me like that should have been considered racist.
Yeah, that was a very racist statement.
It was racist and it was blatant, and she got, and then the fact that Shan Booty had doubled down and was being so gracious. I mean, that's where it's like, oh my God, like you just want to say, you know, I think they got mad at her because she was crying. They were trying to act as if like she was, you know, I guess playing the dozen so she can get sympathy. But then I'm just like, wait a minute. And I'm starting to think that that when you feel alone and isolated, I don't know if she's had this situation. I think she's supposed to be multiracial.
Yeah, I've
But
seen her parents.
I wanted to say biracial, but I think she's multiracial because her mom is mixed and then her father's a whole nother entity. But yeah, I think that she feels so isolated. I think she was scared of him.
Well, you do have to.
She's outnumbered.
It's like I said, this as long as we're not like a united group, we're going to continue to see this. Like a lot of the light skinned women that I see on Instagram, they're posting all these things, saying, "Oh, I'm just as black as you,
Mm-hmm.
and we're united, and we're all black women."
Yeah.
I'm like, no, stop
No,
it.
I
The
know.
second, if they promoted you guys,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll give it another 3 months. They're going to be right back to this whole light skinned women are promoted in the media
Of
nonsense.
course. Of course. This right now, the whole George Floyd, once this die down, they're gonna go right back to find, oh well, what no, biracial woman? What biracial I can shut down today? Or if it's not a light black woman like they try to do with Tyra Banks, So it's right now it seems like a hate crime that's going on, and I'm surprised no one's really calling it out because it seems nothing but a hate crime that's going online.
Yeah, but I don't recall any. What happened with Tyra Banks? I didn't really hear too much about that.
They well, of course, on Lipstick Alley, someone I think they dug up her old tweets. Oh no, not tweets. It was an old video when she was talking to a black girl about her gap. They told her, I think they didn't go. I think she told her, I don't know, she told her to close it or do something because she didn't think that it was marketable. But then when the white girl came out, she told her to open it. It was just something they were trying to find something. To me, it just seemed like, well, let me dig in her stuff to see what I can find on her. And then the blogs were talking about it.
Yeah, they really be quick to cancel us for stuff, but they're the same ones that going around like on ghetto gagger porns. It's
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, like how they came at Doja Cat.
yeah, they. You know what? That whole situation with Doja Cat is funny to me because everybody
Yeah, yeah.
I saw a comment on Twitter saying, "Oh, Doja Cat, don't worry, you can take a break because we're coming after you." And I'm like, "Oh, is that really how it is when there's a biracial woman?" Because let's be honest,
Where are the men though? Why aren't they on the biracial men protecting her? Like why? I mean, what's going on here? Well, I mean, they probably see that she dates a white man, but I mean, still, I mean, I would think that this should be where I even said that, if a white man dates out, who cares? The fact that you're a man, you're at least the same like me. I might have your back,
I
you
think
know?
the whole thing with biracial men is a lot of them. Most of the time, their dads are dark skinned, and a lot of times they don't really. I mean, this may trigger some people, but they don't really do the best job of instilling in them like their multiracial pride.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, if you went up and asked them, they probably wouldn't even be able to say what they are. And I think,
Yeah, they bypass their own women. I'm like, you got attractive women, you bypass them. Like, what's wrong with you?
but
Yeah,
I think that just ties into the whole we're not united thing because
where we
from
not?
what I've seen with biracial women tend to be like they're either going to go real hard on one side or real hard on the other.
Yeah.
There's
And
not
that's the
really like a middle.
disappointing part. They go either extreme dark skin or they're gonna go actually white. They don't come even to light skinned black folks or mixed folks. They don't do that with us.
No, that's just the thing that I always found weird about it. But you know what? I think that can be fought on the black community too, because the black community has started this whole light skinned couples look like siblings dumb thing. I don't know who started that nonsense, but I be on Twitter sometimes, and sometimes I'll just type up light skinned couples. Like this one dark skinned man said that dark skinned couples are a power couple and light skinned couples look like siblings. And there was like a light skinned woman that was agreeing with him. And I was like, are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
Like these people just don't have no loyalty to their. It's like you
I
really
mean,
have to wonder what they look when they what they see
yeah,
when they look in the mirror.
yeah. I know. That's why I say, with that, what happened if they create an apartheid? I guess they'd be crying. Then they'll say something.
Oh, I see.
They'll say they want you to have your own space, and then if you have your own space, they'll complain about it.
They'll say we're bringing back the blue vein society.
Well, you manifested. Isn't that what you wanted?
Yeah, and I remember this. I think his Game Changer. He had got real heated one day in one of the A9 Black Man light skin motivations like lives, and he said, "Quit acting light skin." And when
See,
they asked what he was
see?
saying, he was like, "Oh, just light skinned people dating," and he just better be glad I wasn't on that
No,
platform because
that's what I was going to say. That's what I want to go there too, because I do believe that light skinned men should have the first dibs on their women.
like I was just thinking like quit acting light skinned. It's like, and he
I
just
know,
represents
I
a
know.
very
And see, that's what my problem is that some, and this is why I say some sisters, some light sisters and biracials, y'all let these dark dudes just dominate you. Like, it's kind of, sometimes I believe that we need to date around so they don't get too comfortable, you know?
yeah, true. I agree.
Because some of these dark skinned men think they got us in the bag. And I even thought, I said, if I had something for, of course, I think if you're gonna go date your own first biracial light skinned men, fine. But also, if you're gonna date out, do that too, because I think, and I'm not saying to eliminate dark skinned men at all, but I think that what I'm seeing online too is they think they got us in the bag. They act like they own us.
Yeah, they do. They do. I would say in a way, dark skinned women like the colorism movement and all that, they're kind of the same way. Like
They do. They think they own you, light skinned men. They think they got you in the bag. They
like
control you.
they'll say that we're like allies, and like Andrew Ramirez
Oh
Jr.
yeah,
made a
right.
video like, oh,
Please.
light skinned men and dark skinned women are allies, and I'm like, no.
See, and that's why I'm saying, like, he. That's why I'm gonna say now, with your look, you're probably getting more out of this because of your look, because you're more ambiguous than even other light skinned men. So let's not play. They like you because they want to probably have, as they say, cute babies with good hair, which ain't gonna probably happen if you get with a darker woman. Excuse my language, but that's how they think, you know.
Oh, so Ketley LaChan says they don't love biracials with a white man. You have to be black. L. Yeah, that's how it is. Like this whole Doja Cat situation just proves how entitled a lot of them are.
I said I want more women to do it just to prove a point.
Well,
I want more biracials and light skinned women to do that.
that's the thing. They will probably call y'all colors then. That hate your
Oh
black side.
well, oh well.
I've heard that saying a lot. Like there was this one video. There was this one video. This one guy that's, and the lady looked like, I don't know, she was like Puerto Rican or something, and she said, "Oh, I don't really date dark skinned men. I like my
Oh, and they could
light."
just say that. Yeah. Uh-huh.
And he was saying, "Wow, you really do hate dark skinned people." I'm like, "What?"
You don't have to hate them. It's just you may say I just don't. But see, that's what I'm saying.
Like, how? What does that have to do with hating? But they do
No.
that a lot. If y'all don't date them, they'll say that y'all colors, and it's the same thing with us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like
Yeah, they do.
Blueface, he's a rapper, and I don't know what he had said something like bad about dark skinned women, and there was this guy that I'm sure you probably heard of him, Sarge Willie Pete, and they were
Oh yeah.
calling him a colorist for that.
I was in a comment section talking to him. Yeah, he's I think he was mad because Doja Cat, I guess, Well, I don't know. Is it because she was talking to white men or something or what? I didn't really listen to what Blueface said or anything, but I don't know.
Michael Torres says Angel the light skinned vampire.
Yeah.
You know what?
I think he know he's hustling, you know.
But what's
A
crazy
lot
is
of these yeah.
he made a video about Doja Cat too. And they were over there talking like biracials that hate their blackness and they call they're pro-white. I'm like,
Okay, so they have a choice. If they don't want to be, if they can't, why can't they say they're white then? Or why can't they lean on more on their white side? See what I'm saying?
it's like they just always feel like they always have to have control over who we date and how we think.
But yeah, I see. They really try to police the biracial folks. That's why I'm surprised there's no more biracials that's really sticking up and speaking out. You know,
Well, the ones that do, they can just cancel them.
they shut them down. They shut them down. They'll say, "Oh, they're canceled."
That's what
Did you
everybody.
hear about Trina? Trina, when she was talking about the riots.
Yeah, they were doing the same thing with her, and I think somebody said that they pulled out a sex video of her, and I was like, "What is this?"
Okay, okay. Well, and she probably listening, thinking, "Okay, and you like it?" I mean, come on, man.
Like they just anything, anytime, especially if you're a light skinned person, if you say something that goes against their agenda, they will chew you out. And I think that's kind of the reason why you don't see light skin and biracials speaking out
Right.
more.
I understand. I totally get it. Because you're alone. It's like you can speak out, but it's almost like you're doing it by yourself and other lighter folks won't have your back.
It's the exact opposite. Those are the main people that are going to be against you.
That's what I'm saying. So then you'll feel like with dog, like I'm trying to go out of my way for these people and they're knocking me down. So now they're probably going to become even more of a savior for dark people because they know that other light people are going to come at them harder. So
Yeah.
they'll have more heat for you than even the dark people that talk trash about them. That's the irony of it. They're not afraid to come at you, but they'll come at I mean, but yeah, but they'll be afraid of dark skinned women. That's it. Yeah.
Gorgeously Gabby says, don't forget the sunrise of black women practicing hypergamy. You know,
Okay.
I
Yeah.
believe if light skinned black women started dating out and they started getting with white men, I'm sure dark skinned women will start calling white men covers.
I know they will because I remember in one of those platforms I've been on, you know, I'll be nosy or whatever. It was this chick, she was talking about, oh, and dark skinned women, they white men prefer dark skinned women. I'm like, honey, you don't know that. Just because you all are so available because no one wants to date you, that's probably why. You actually think we would have a problem getting a date?
Well, I always like to use this argument. If you stick somebody like Alexandra Shipp or Halle Berry and you stuck her in any community to sit up here, and this is the thing that I
Right.
don't understand with people like Sarge Willie Pete. They talk as if we have no options. If you stick those
They
two
do,
in a
right.
community, you're going to sit up here and tell me that nobody's going to show them attention. Like, come on.
Exactly. I mean, hey, the white women are trying to have tan looks like us. They're not blackfishing. They're trying to look like us. Like Kim Kardashian's obsessed with Beyonce. And Kylie, she's trying to look like Black China.
Yeah, man.
So you actually think that we would have a problem? No. Same with the men. You go on TikTok, they love some light boys over there. That's why when I hear some of y'all say you can't get a date, I'm like, shoot, they seem like all girls like you all, you know?
Well, I think some of those guys are like non-select kind of dudes.
I know what you're saying. They kind of have like the maybe the golden eyes and I know what you mean.
Yeah, sometimes they don't always be like the select kind of men. They have issues sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not just going to sit up here and say that there's not an issue with light skinned men dating, but
Mm-hmm.
I think we could get a lot of women if we really tried. I think a lot
I
of
think you can date out at ease. It's ease with ease. I think.
the thing that's hurting us is this whole image that we have. And I think that can be attributed to a lot of the dark skinned men with how they're constantly, because I was like looking at somebody's community tab, and I think G Lowry, and he
Mm-hmm.
cracked a joke about dark skinned men, like Team Dark Skin. And these guys had wrote, "Oh, you have an obsession with clowning dark skinned men," and I sarcastically made a joke like, "Oh, it's just jokes," and they were like,
Mm-hmm.
you're stupid to think it's a joke. And I said, okay, then you guys keep that same energy when you joke about us.
Right.
It's like they always constantly want to say they can talk about us all day, every day.
I
But
know.
the second we even crack a joke about them, now they're talking all these Willie Lynch BS theories.
Right. You're
That's
absolutely right.
they always bring that little Willie Lynch letter, and I've done my research.
I'm curious about it. Does that really exist? You know?
From what I've read, that actually was a theory that was created by like a black like scholar from the 90s. From what I've read, Willie Lynch never even existed.
Mm-hmm.
I think they just use that as a scapegoat.
I've never seen that so many people talk about slavery and past stuff since the past 5 years.
Yeah, it's like they talk about it like it's an everyday thing, and it's like
They'll
no.
say 400 years. Like how long? 400 years. They've been saying that for how many years? 400 years? Like, so you still a slave?
Yeah, like this one guy made a comment on Twitter, like he was saying that this is 400, what 400 years of oppression looks like, and I'm like, dude, you don't even look like you're 40.
Right.
It's like these people act like slavery's still going on.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I mean, if slavery gone on, a lot of stuff they wouldn't be able to say about everybody. It would go. It would go. The stuff, even the stuff they say online, they would be checked for.
Yeah, this is like they talk about everybody else, but the second somebody whispers anything about them, they're ready to cancel them.
Yeah, they cancel everybody. They're able to cancel everybody.
I wish I could cancel them sometimes.
I know.
So I'm about to post a link, see if anybody else wants to join and chime in on this. We got a good conversation going. I'd like to see the
Mhm.
numbers go up a little more, but yeah, it's going good so far.
Yeah, someone said about the Arab slave trade. Yeah, I noticed they never talk about that. And also the Africans playing a role in us coming over here. But they're the you notice they're the main ones that start these colorism conversations. They amplify it.
Yeah, they really
To
do.
some degree they're manipulating even the dark girls that do have platforms because they know they're insecure and they're playing on it.
So this Jake Marino says Willie Lynch was proven wrong because it uses English terms that didn't exist at the time. It uses fuels.
Hmm.
Exactly. It's like it's fake.
Yeah.
It was created by a black scholar that was just trying to use it as a scapegoat. These people only bring that letter up when it comes to
I bet,
us a lot of
I
times.
bet you it was a light skinned person. You know, a lot of us are in academia. Demia.
Yeah, it could have been.
You know, we'll throw each other under the bus so we can make them feel better. Just like, you know, when you talked about the movies and how the actors and how we can't even play our own people, we let them play it and we don't say anything.
Yeah, I was Somebody had just wrote a comment on my video saying that my video was stupid for saying that. It's like they
No.
just can't stand that their narrative is getting challenged.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can see your comments, Bear Down.
Yeah.
They just really, at the end of the day, they're going to promote whatever narrative that they want to push. And the fact that, like you saw my blackwashing video, that video was nearly an hour. But yet it's still, people are still talking about Storm to this very day. And Will
Yeah.
Smith is Richard Williams, like that. I think that, what was that movie? John Henry.
Oh yeah,
There
John
was,
Henry. They said I don't think John Henry had a skin tone. He was just a mythical character, so anyone could have played him. So you telling me he, as The Rock, couldn't play John Henry? They gave it to I think Terry Crews.
yeah, it got so much backlash that they changed it up. And I'm like, Birth of the Nation had Nat Turner, and they had Nate Parker playing him. There was
Yeah.
no backlash. I would have never known that Nat Turner was light skinned. I actually learned about it from Light Skin Law.
Yes, and that's why she started the trend that I even noticed. I think I wouldn't have noticed a lot if I hadn't seen her screen. You know how she would have the screen, like the screen share of all the people that played light skinned people's roles.
Yeah, she had a lot of them. It's just startling how many people they showed on there. But you would never know it from all these pro blacks and light skinned saviors.
Well, they're setting the tone so like maybe hundreds of years people will actually forget that they were light skinned. They'll think that they were darker, and that all these darker people were just all these heroines when it was actually us.
And you know what? That's another interesting thing. Like, even in like video games, there's really not really a lot of light skinned or biracial people in video games.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Well,
most of the people are
sometimes,
dark.
yeah, white people also play a role in there too.
Yeah, it's like the Hollywood at the end they just promote whoever they like. A light skinned man wouldn't really connect with people as much. That's why you got movies like that Birth of a Nation, the Butler, where they have Forrest
Yeah.
Whitaker playing Eugene Allen.
Mm-hmm.
And let me
Chad
see.
Boseman played Thurgood Marshall. Like really.
Yeah, and one that you don't really hear people talking about is Tyler Perry played Colin Powell, and he basically did the exact same thing that
Yeah.
Zoe Saldana did with what was that name? Nia Simone. Yeah, Nia Simone.
Mm-hmm.
And there actually were white people that were saying how dumb it looked more than black people. Black people
Right.
were praising Tyler Perry for it. It's
Of
like
course.
these people just don't seem to have any kind of balance with this stuff.
But see, that's where I say it's like if nobody calls it out for what it is, that's where it's like almost like that's why I say with like men and biracial. If there happens to be a role, they're trying to push you all out, and you can't even play your own people. I'm gonna call it out. There should be no reason why there's not any light skinned black men that are able to play their heroines.
Yeah, but
The white people are in on that too.
yeah, they promote whoever they feel is going to make a buck.
Well, I think they're more vocal about getting their way. The light men are not really going that vocal about you know getting an acting role. And I mean, for the most part, I think that most people that are like, especially the guys, tend to be more into other things instead of acting. Because in the acting world, you got to do a lot of degrading things to even probably get a role, and they're probably more willing to do it.
Yeah, true. Yeah, they are.
You look at the rap scene. Look at all the degrading things that the darker the rappers do.
But you know what? A lot of these same colorism crybabies talk about how that's privilege for light skinned women.
Mm-mm.
Basically, shaking the tails.
That's not. Yeah, that's. Mm-mm.
for
See,
Poogies and Ray Rays, basically.
they're young. They think the girls probably having fun, but I seen all that stuff in the '90s, and I'm like, oh my god! I think back then you don't think it. You think, oh, it's fun and cute, ha ha ha, but it's almost like It's like they kind of promote you as a sex toy.
Yeah, they do. It's disgusting, honestly.
Yeah, I don't see. I don't see. I really don't see why dark skinned women would want to even be in that position. But it's an ego thing. I understand it as a woman. It's an ego thing.
Yeah, it's funny because they get a lot of like Harriet Tubman. She was played like Cynthia Erivo, but they just completely look over roles like that, and they just go straight to rappers. Like, why do y'all want to be in rappers' music videos so much?
There are numerous things. There are numerous things on TV. So much like when they talk about people on TV, I'm like, where? It'll be one person, one.
Well, they're a lot of times they're like promoted as the token black person.
They always, yeah, we always cast as the token. So they have the numbers even over us, and okay, you have one, and you're mad about that. I just wish Jordan Peele pisses me off.
Oh yes, he's just another one of those kind of light skinned saviors that I'm talking about.
I
He's
know,
just pathetic. It's like he has a chance to really, really cast biracial men, light
right?
men and light women, biracial women too, and he just basically posts nothing but a bunch of dark skinned people. It's like, but of course nobody calls him out for it. He actually gets praised for it.
Yeah,
Like Us, Get Out. It's like he promotes everybody but his own phenotype.
I know. And when you see his comedy, I don't know if you see his old comedy when he would talk about who he is, and to me, he seemed like if I looked at some of his stuff, he seemed like he hated black people. So I'm not sure how he just was forgiven all of a sudden. Some of his old comedy stuff with the other guy, Michael Keegan.
Yeah, I've seen
Yeah,
some
I
of it.
said some of that stuff I was even was just like, oof.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey, looks like somebody else joined. Okay,
Okay.
how you doing, Natural Stace?
Hey, what's up, y'all?
Not much, just the usual, talking about never before seen issues right here.
Yeah, I heard y'all talking about Jordan Peele. I think that his thing is it's just like a business move. I think Jordan is afraid of being canceled, so he's just pandering basically to dark skinned people because he knows that if he puts out a movie or something and has dark skinned people as the leads, then it'll sell because they will look at that as like he's praising them. So that's
So
what it
what?
is.
So what is the thing? Is that a smart thing? Like, is that the way? If is that strategic, like playing the art of war, where he makes money off them? Like,
Well, I think that is good for him if he wants money. Like he's basically using them just like some of the African people are using dark skinned women, with the colorism thing. But I think that it's to his own detriment and biracial people because it's putting forth this idea that light skinned people don't belong on the big screen or anything. So I think that he's kind of playing himself and the rest of us as well because he doesn't put people in his own image out there or even his children's image. Because isn't he married to an Asian woman or something?
I
I think
believe her woman is his woman is white, and I believe.
Yeah. So, and I wonder, like, what do y'all think the future will hold for the African people? Because you see now there is like even on YouTube, there's like Lovely Tea, Jovi Beauty, Layla Lynn, like all these YouTubers who are upcoming that are dark skinned African women like immigrants that are, and then you see the Lupita Nyong'o and Cynthia Erivo. Like these people are getting the accolades for being like the dark skin. I mean, just like the poster children for dark skinned people. But do you think that it's going to turn on them that dark
I think
skin?
so. I think
Yeah.
so. Dark women are gonna see that and feel that they were played, because what they're doing is the
Hmm.
African people are using us to knock us out, but really they're putting themselves even above dark American women.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what's disappointing to me, that they don't even see how they're being played.
But you know what? That can be applied to the men too, because I don't know if y'all seen the show All American. The guy that plays like the main guy is actually British, and Idris Elba, he's British
Hmm.
too. I
Yeah.
believe sooner or later it's probably going to be an issue once they notice that a lot of them right now it's on this whole anti-light thing, but once that dies down, it's going to double
Hmm.
down to the whole American dark skin struggle.
Yeah. Yeah, it's starting to get like that because if
Yeah.
you see the YouTubers like the Blackistan, you see Tyreek Nasheed, um Yvette Carnell, you know, like they have this the ADOS and the Foundational Black American Movement, and they're kind of coming against it. But
Right.
you know, it's like what what do they want? Like, I don't understand, you know, and I'm not coming against anybody who is an immigrant because I got in trouble with for some of the things I said before. And, but it's just like, if what do dark skinned Americans want from us? Because, you know, I watch a lot of YouTubers. I really don't watch too much TV, but one, I watched the Insecure show, and there's Kendrick Sampson. He plays the character Nathan, and he's a biracial um, man, and he, you know, he has like the light skin, the blue eyes or green eyes or whatever. And if you
Mhm.
Right.
notice that on every review or every like bit of commentary on that show, Issa Rae's character is involved with him, and they're like, "Oh, you know, I want her with the light skinned man. You know, she needs to." It's always an issue with his skin tone. But if you
Mhm.
see now that he was shot at with the one of those rubber bullets in the protests that are going on, and now
Yeah.
it's like,
Oh
yeah,
no.
he's out there doing this. So it's like we are not.
I wish he wouldn't have did that.
Yeah, me too. I wish he wouldn't have done it. And it's like we're not good enough, like us and biracials. And let me just say this because I wanted to clear the air with you, Emancipation, because I
Sure.
did say something to you in the chat about light skin motivation, because that's my homegirl and I love her.
Yeah.
And you
Yes,
know, I knew,
yes, that mine too.
yeah, you know, I whatever is going on between you two, I kind of know what's happening, but I hope that y'all can resolve it. I kind of have seen both sides of it, and I think it's a conversation that needs to be had. But I ain't want to come up here being all
Oh,
fake
no,
and
I
talking.
know. No, because I think I didn't really see anything, but I know that everyone may not agree, and
Yeah,
I, and you want to have a healthy discussion, even if there's some things that are uncomfortable. But
yeah,
if you block someone, it's almost like I don't even know what it was or what it. But I could kind of have idea because of me talking about casting. I guess
hmm,
you thought that was divisive.
okay, okay,
But I don't. I mean, but other than that, I mean, technically, I can tell you what it is, but
okay. I think I may have gotten you. Are you Fran, or is that you?
no, I'm not friend. No,
Okay, okay. I
I even.
apologize. I'm sorry because I thought
Oh,
that's
you
who you
okay?
were. Okay,
No,
Oh,
and I even
okay,
thought that she probably thought I was probably her in a troll account. That's why I never even went in on her or anything. Not that I had anything against her, but I figured, oh, she must think that I'm one of friends' troll accounts or something, and that's why she blocked me.
okay, okay.
yeah.
My
Friend
bad. I'm
is
sorry. Yeah,
Oh, you okay?
I didn't
That's
know. I don't know what was going on because I misunderstood, and that's my fault. I thought you were
oh,
friends, so
you're
that's why
okay.
I was like,
Oh, no, 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 no,
"Oh
no,
hell
no.
no!" That's why I came
Oh,
at you like that.
no,
But
because I notice when sometimes if Fran is on a thread, I might hop in there sometimes. But I noticed that, even they got into it, and, it's disappointing how it happens. And, you just wish that it wouldn't be something where I'm going to just block someone, to have a discussion about it and then move on from there. But
Yeah.
but it starts to look almost like, if you're going to say comments like, well, it seems almost like you're anti like black girls or something. Because I think Sylvia was over there. Something happened, and Selector Jai and
okay.
real talk, Gray Pill. I think she's had a problem with him. So it's like almost like, okay, what's going on, sis?
See,
Well,
I mean, I
Selector
can.
Ja kind of has like some. I mean, I
Yeah,
agree with a
I
lot
wish,
of what you're
and
saying.
I actually, I almost feel like with him, he's so sensitive that I almost feel like he feels
yeah,
alone.
yeah, he does, and I think, like, I can't speak for light skin motivation, but I've come to know her somewhat, and I think that she doesn't want the platform to be anti anybody, and sometimes people come in the comments and it's like, well, it's like this thing, well, the light skinned women are like, I'm fully black, so I'm the real thing, and then it's something with the
Yeah,
dark
I have
people.
noticed that.
Yeah, so I think that she doesn't want that promoted on the channel, but I can't speak for her. But I hope that you both can have like a conversation, because I think you both are rational. But she blocks it because she doesn't want the extra headache from it.
I understand, and like I said, I even think the fact that she puts in a lot of work. That's why I was like, well, she may have blocked me because she thought I was the other person.
Yeah.
But I still was like, okay, I'm not gonna do like some people come on and create another account and troll them, because I figure I have, a loud enough voice that I can say whatever it is I need to say.
Well, I
So
think
I'm not
light
sure where
skin
they are.
light skin motivation has a lot of people that she has to keep watching that channel, because they get a lot of trolls, and I can speak on it from my channel. You have to be real careful who you let comment, because sometimes they like derail the whole conversation with just one comment. I think the thing is, she's just trying to make sure that doesn't happen too much.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think you both just have
I
the
don't think I was on their platform. I think I was probably on another platform. I recall when I had a discussion. That's where it was like, well, I wasn't on your platform having a discussion, so you decided to block me because you see me talking to someone else. So it's kind of like, okay, where do we? That's my thing. I just couldn't understand it.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's just a big misunderstanding, and hopefully, y'all will get it together. The thing with Selector Jai, and I'm sorry, we can. I'm sorry, Brown and Beige. We could move on after this, but
Sure.
he would say a lot of things that were like kind of anti light skinned women, and I think that he has an issue with being a light skinned man and not being chosen by light skinned women or something, because that's kind of what I was getting from his conversation. But
Right.
he would go back and forth with her and other people in the comments, and he's cool with me. I mean, I don't have an issue with them, but I
Yeah,
think
me too.
she just wants to minimize the arguments on the channel. Like, if you notice some people would comment like, let's, we getting away from it. And her and Anon like to keep on topic and not go into like these different holes. But, I do agree with you with emancipation about the topics of light skinned women being kind of like in competition with one another, like not
Yeah.
being friends,
Yeah.
because
Yes. I'm like, am I the only one that's like, if you're like in a classroom or whatever it is, it's probably you and another light chick.
mhm.
All your friends, the darker people, and not
Yep.
you.
Yep, that's how. I mean, I have um at my well at my previous job, it was me and this other light skinned woman, and I'm like, my family is Creole, and I'm from New Orleans, so we're Creole and black, but we just
Oh
consider
yeah, that's
ourselves
the
black.
Oh, okay.
birthplace of
I
the
have some
Creole.
family members. I have some from, yeah, me too.
Yeah, and it's like this lady, she was light skinned. I mean, she was like her skin tone, like she was probably one shade above like albino, and she
Okay.
was really nice looking. Like, she had a really nice shape and everything. And like, I would try to be cool with her and talk to her, and she
Yeah.
would dismiss me for the dark skinned girls in there. So I just kind of like kept to myself. But like out here,
Sounds
it's
like a light skinned savior.
yeah, she is a light skin savior, and it's like that with light skinned women. I mean, until I got to this platform, I don't have any light skinned friends until I got here. That's why I appreciate these platforms, because it's like you cannot have these conversations because it's like, oh girl, I don't want to talk about that, or they look at you crazy as if
I know.
you're a racist. It's like, no, girl, you don't see what's going on. Like,
I know.
and then they
Right.
accept
You
it
feel like
first.
you're the only one that thinks these thoughts. That's
Yeah.
why it's like, well, if I say something about a topic, you're like, well, why is that wrong that I say something about it? Doesn't mean that I'm against someone else having a job. It's like he even said that his mom noticed it, that you may not see a lot of like black girls, and I'm like, well, it's nothing wrong with noticing something and seeing it for what that is. It doesn't mean you're trying to knock someone out of a job.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And
Yeah.
it's like this, and it feels like to me the only time light skinned women are accepted by dark skinned women, either if you're not too cute, if you're
Yeah.
if you're fat, or if you're gay. That's it.
Or if you have bigger features.
Yeah, that's it. But I
Features
do.
that don't make them
Yeah,
scared
that
of
don't
them.
be. Yeah. If
No,
you
if
if
you look like Aaliyah, you're gonna have problems.
yeah if you look like that, I mean,
Right.
you're done. And
Even
they
Amanda Seales, if you look like that, they're gonna have problems.
mhm, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess you'll be taking their man. They don't want no competition.
Yeah, they
Everything
don't.
gotta be about a man. Everything has to be. I wish dark skinned women wouldn't be like that. They really. I mean, they think we're against them. We're not. They know that.
Yeah,
But
they
I try to understand it from their point. If you feel like you're around women that you just simply feel like you can't compete with, I guess it creates that sort of anger. But I still think that it should be a healthy way to deliberate on that.
yeah, I mean, I've been to, like, I have all, like, growing up, I was around like brown skin. Like most of on my mom's side, my whole family is either dark or brown. Like me and a few of my cousins are like the lightest people on my mom's side. And I can remember like my cousins, we would be out somewhere and they would get chosen before me, and it wasn't like an issue. It was just like, okay,
Right.
like he likes her. But when it's a light skinned woman, it's always this thing like, well, he just wants her because she's light, and or
I
we
mean, right.
we get all these privileges, and then it's like you can't say anything to a dark skinned woman without being canceled. Like it's if you say anything like with the Lonnie Love thing, if anybody would check Lonnie Love about what she did to Shan, it's like they would be canceled immediately. And it's not like they are, like you said, they are the protected class. Them and like dark skinned people and gay people are protected class, that you cannot say anything because you will be some type of phobic or some kind type of like
You'll
you're a
be a
colorist.
colorist.
Yeah, it's just like, and it's like maybe it's not your skin tone, it's not the way you look. Maybe you are just a crappy person that people don't like you. Like it's not always that she's dark skinned or he's dark skinned, and it's an issue. And it's like people are being silenced for saying anything about dark skinned people. So is it that they want the ties to change where they are the supremacists? Is that what they want? Is because it's not about equality. It's about um, dark skin supremacy. That's what it's about to me. Yeah,
I think they just want to be the standard now and
yeah.
shame everyone that doesn't agree with it. They
But
really,
are light skinned women really the beauty standard everywhere? Like, I mean, I don't know. Like sometimes I get confused about that. Like, is it that like when they say light skinned women are put in more shows and stuff, to me like there is an aspect of that is white people have more control of the media, right? So a white person is going to see a light-skinned person, a Halle Berry or whoever, is someone who is more racially ambiguous, that's able to connect to both audiences. So it's all about money. But if you want that to change, then you need to change your position in media. You need to be the ones controlling the media if you want that to change. You can't just think that everybody is going to have you in mind, because people want to see what looks like them most of the time. So I don't get it.
Well, I think it's not so much that they really care. They just want to be this everybody's spotlight. They want to be the promoted image of black women, and they don't want nobody coming in the way of that. I
Yeah.
think the thing is, I think it would happen with dark skinned men more, because they, even in the 80s, they had a problem with us being promoted a lot. But now
Yeah.
we're like forced out of the media. But I believe if light skinned men started getting promoted more, that issue with us will probably come back to light again.
Yeah, light skinned men were like the I can't think of all these people. The guy who played in Jason's Lyric, and all of them, they were promoted to Albie Shores and things. But now when you see light skinned men in roles, unless it's a Tyler Perry movie, they are like the dumb one, or like the one who doesn't have um any type of swag or whatever you call it. Like they're more just like aloof. It's not
Like
you.
Junior on Blackist, he's just a
Yeah.
prime example of.
Yeah, or the guy who plays on Insecure, that's like Lawrence's best friend. Like he's just always talking, saying something stupid, and he's not faithful to his wife. And then there's Amanda Seales and her husband. They're a light skinned couple, but it seems that they are just like, they pretend to be perfect. And there's always something with y'all still black, like they even said that in that show when they were talking about they'll their characters were having a baby, and they were like, yeah, but with y'all light skinned asses, like y'all still black. And it's like, as a light skinned person, I've never said I wasn't black. Like, I've never been like, oh no, I'm not black, like, or minimize my blackness. If anything, I tried to overcompensate, because at one point, I was a light skinned savior when I was
I
like,
think we all were.
you know?
I think it's a trait. It's almost like it's a trait, like I don't know, it's in our DNA or something or what.
Mm-hmm. It must be, because I was definitely like, I would be just saying everything was like based on some type of a racial, like people, we were always getting stereotyped or something. And then like I had my light skin wake up call a couple of times, and I was like, man, I'm not doing this anymore. Like, I'm not fighting for people who don't care about me. Like I don't. And I have situations with, can't even be friends with some women because they make everything about your skin tone. Like, I had a friend who actually told me, like, she would constantly tell me that her husband, she would like his, I'm gonna just call him Randy. She would be like, Randy, he doesn't like light skinned women. Like every time we would talk about something, she would be like, yeah, Randy doesn't like light skinned women. Now we would see something like with celebrities, and I was always wondering, like, why are you telling me this? Because she's a dark skinned woman, she's really beautiful and everything. And I was like, why? I don't care who your husband likes, but, and she was married at the time, and I wasn't. So I'm like, you won. So why do you keep bringing up my skin tone? Like, it's not. I don't know. I'm not. I haven't noticed. I haven't been in a position where my skin tone has gotten me anything. Like,
That's just a projection that a lot of them have.
mm-hmm.
There really isn't any proof to back a lot of these claims. They just speak out of it in pure emotion a lot of times. They really don't know what they're talking about. I really wish they would just stop talking about it, because they clearly are talking on the basis of like their own emotions. Because if light skinned people really have so much privilege, then why exactly do we bow down and kiss the black community's bunions?
Mm-hmm. We always
Yeah.
do. but I mean, I think this is a change. I hope that there's more channels like this. I mean, I want to create my own channel, but I don't want to be in a position of, like the bullying or the doxing or whatever it is. I don't have time for that. So,
Yeah, I admit they come over here. I just heard of it all. I'm stupid, crazy, just everything.
yeah,
Yeah, really, you have to really be careful a lot of time.
yeah, you can't say anything, like, and you cannot be in opposition to anybody that's light skinned. That's dark skinned. You go to any of these channels, and you try to talk about some type of issue, and there's a light skin, something is going to be brought up that about your skin tone. It's like they're more colorist towards us than we are.
Yeah, they bring it up in a lot of cases, like even in like the biggest light skinned savior, Stephen Brown. They constantly call him beige. You know what, beige this. But it's good for him because he definitely needs his light skin wake up call.
Oh, I don't know who that is. I've never heard of him. Is he on
Um,
YouTube?
Yeah,
yes.
he's one of the biggest light skin saviors in the game.
Oh goodness, I guess he's bigger than Angel.
Well,
No, actually, he's not.
Ugh.
I
I
put
don't
it,
think they like him enough, like Angel. I guess he's not pretty enough, and then
Yeah, so I was about to say he must not be cute.
he's not ugly though. He
I'm
just
not even.
he just angry. I don't know. I think he just sees that he's getting followers and views, and he's in on it.
Hmm.
A lot of people use colorism to get their channels up. That's what Paris Manon did.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Because she
Yeah.
said she didn't want to do it. She said she didn't want to do colorism, but Chrissy kind of bullied her into it.
Yeah, Cynthia G is taking that because I remember I used to watch her a lot. I mean, I don't agree with everything she says, but sometimes she does have some good points. But at one
Yeah.
one time, she was
Mhm.
like, "Oh, I never experienced colorism, so I'm not going to talk about it." But
Yeah.
now it's like, I mean,
But
like
it's
she's
weird with
just a strip.
Cynthia because on one hand, it's almost like she kind of has this almost like I'm not gonna fold into the pressure and say
Hmm.
I gone through colorism. She still does that.
Hmm.
But then on the other hand, I don't know. I can't with her. I don't know what to expect. I think the last time she was talking about with Megan Good, I was surprised. She was like, Megan Good is brown skin. She's not dark skin. And she was like, people try to tell me I'm dark skin and I'm not. So it's almost she knows what's going on.
Yeah, she straddles the fence.
I
She
thought that was funny. If you listen to her, you could tell she was kind of fed up. I think she even said, well, and she was like, well, really, if you wanted to, you might as well just bleach yourself. I was like, wow.
yeah, I
oh,
think she is getting
so
fed up.
She was
she's
getting fed up.
going back on what she's her whole
Uh-huh.
platform.
That was the last time when she talked about Megan Good. I thought it was funny because she
Yeah,
was
I didn't
fed
see
up.
Sounds like she's just moving the goalposts like all the
That's
rest of the
true. They
time.
all do.
Yeah, everything. I mean, everything you talk about is okay, like if you see like anything a light skinned woman says, and it's getting to the point where it's going down to brown skinned women like Megan Good. Like there's and I use these examples of this reality show stuff because it was popular. But there's Eva Marcel, who's to me, she's like brown skin. I mean, I don't think
Yeah,
she's light skin.
I don't either.
Yeah, and she's
I
still.
almost thought that maybe she tanned so much.
Hmm.
Is it like a permanent tan?
Yeah, because she's like golden. I mean, like she looks
Yeah, because
bronze.
even Jada Pickett technically is a light woman, but she's been tanning for over 20 years.
Yeah, and then yeah, Jada Pinkett is a savior. Oh my gosh, she annoys me.
I know they did a colorism topic, and it was like the mother is just in such denial. Poor thing, When
Yeah,
they're older like that, it's hard for them to understand.
yeah, but she should understand because she is older. Like I'm sure,
Mm-hmm.
she had those. Because I know my grandmother when my grandmother was dark on my mom's side, and she was one of those like y'all light skinned girl. She had that dark skin colorism crybaby type thing too. And I know that Jada and her mom, they know, but they want to be
They
sensitive.
know. Like, look at how attractive they both were.
Mm-hmm.
Especially
Yeah.
when the mother had that long hair, and you
Mm-hmm.
telling me, come on, girl, you telling me you don't know about it, girl, please.
Yeah, she knows.
And like even Jada with her pretty features and keen features and hair, come on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
sure. I'm sure they probably heard more than enough of the complaints in their life.
I think
Mm-hmm.
that's why Jada was probably like, man, if I stay in Hollywood, she said I need to get married because you already know she probably was on it. She knew that she probably couldn't get no acting jobs because people try to block her from getting it.
Mm-hmm.
She heard it and got married, which was the smartest thing she did.
Yeah.
Because if she was still trying to act in the millennium, they'd be trying to block her from getting a job.
Yeah, she wouldn't last at all.
Because the go-to was Gabrielle Union, Sanaa Lathan, and all them. You
Yeah,
know,
it was. Yeah, they still are. And do they consider Sanaa Lathan as light skinned? Because
her color comes and goes to me. Sometimes I can't even tell if she's light to me or not.
Well, she's kind of on the line. She's straddling, so it's
I don't
really
know.
hard
She's like borderline to me. I don't know if she's one of those people. If you see her in person, you'd be like, "Oh, she's light." You
But
know,
yeah, it's like every
it
Oh
really
yeah,
depends on the
it's
lighting a
almost
lot
like
of
a
times.
borderline. And you know who's not really dark skinned, but sometimes if you see her in different, Kerry Washington, she's technically not dark skinned.
yeah, she's not.
Mm-hmm.
No, not at all. She's like in that little middle ground kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. And I think her mother, I seen her mother. Her mother looks like she's kind of has an admixture herself.
Oh, I've never seen her mom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but yep.
Yeah, but yeah, it's like everything you say as a light skinned person is perceived as some type of diss to dark skinned people. Like with
Right.
Marcel, she was when she had that episode when she was like she was talking to the other ladies and she said something, she called them nappy head.
Yeah.
And then like last year she said like Ronnie DeVoe's wife, she was in that group called Black, and it's BLAQUE, that's how they
Oh
spelled it.
yeah, I remember
And
that.
she
Yeah.
said she was talking about another cast member. Yeah, and she was like, well, she's black like that, and but not with the Q. And she was referring to the group, but everybody on YouTube, and now it's like she's colorist. You know, like seriously, and she
But
said
you know
black with
what
the
I love
Q.
about
So she was
Eva? I love that she is so unbothered. She's like, look.
yeah, she okay. Yeah, she
And
just
I'm
was
like,
like,
y'all didn't even take notes from her. You
yeah, I
know,
was,
I remember she
yeah.
was reading Nene, honey.
Yeah, and she was
I
just
think
matter of fact with it, but they couldn't take that.
Mhm.
And I wish she would have said something when they told her, well, you know, you as a light skinned woman with soft hair, and you can't say things like that. But on the flip side, but you can say things to me because I've heard, you know, light skinned women age like milk, biracial women they age from their white parent, or
That's a lie.
yeah, it is a lot, you know, because I mean, I have a cousin that's biracial and she's probably like 50 something and she looks like, I mean, she looks good. And so I don't see that, you know, it just, I guess it's genetics and how you take care of yourself. But,
I think.
um,
Well, I think they just say that to just make y'all feel bad, but a lot of them don't be looking 50 when they're 20, so they're
mhm.
not really in position to talk about who age is bad.
Yeah, you can say whatever you want about a light skinned or a biracial person. When
But you know,
Claudia, oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Stephen Brown have actually made a video at the request of a dark skinned man on his platform about do light skinned women hit the fan, and I'm like, dude, you're a clown.
Oh, that whole hit the wall thing. Well, I mean, I think that's
I mean,
funny.
I think
I,
Sergeant Willie he started that whole hit the wall term too. I think, or did he?
I think
There's a lot of people he came up with.
Michael Torres is Karen Parsons and Jasmine Guy. Yeah, they do look
I
bad.
was just gonna say Jasmine Guy. Yeah, Jasmine Guy. Now she cracked.
Yeah, she
Poor thing.
looked like, I don't know, like she
But
looked like she had a hard life.
I mean, she does. She looks kind of witchy. Like I don't know. You
Yeah,
know.
Yeah, she does.
You know, she's talented though. They'll say,
Yeah,
"Oh, she got by her light privilege," but the homegirl could sing. You know, she was dancing. She's a comedic actress, just like Tisha Campbell.
yeah, yeah. They say that, and I mean that whole like, do light skinned women hit the wall? I mean, if you, I don't like to talk about aging. Everybody has to age, right? So, I mean, it
Yeah,
depends on which man you're talking about. If he's with the MGTOW and all that, then they would say every woman
yeah.
hits the wall. And I mean, that's fine with me. I think I'm at the point, I'm 36, so I've hit the wall, I guess, but it doesn't
I
bother
mean, my
me.
every woman, but that's so funny because most of the women a lot of older women probably not as run through as the younger girls.
Yeah. But I mean, it doesn't, it does, that talk doesn't bother me because I'm secure in
No,
who I
I find it hilarious.
am.
I'm thinking they probably let them get an older woman. Some of them are young guys talking about hitting the wall. Let them get an older woman. They won't be saying that.
Yeah, see, it's like, I mean, it just depends on who the mindset of that man. And I mean, they're entitled to it because I mean, I don't like skinny men. So I mean, so it's like
Oh,
I don't like real skinny men. So it's just like, well, like so everybody has their preference. So if your preference is a younger woman, then that hasn't hit the wall, then I mean, go for it. Shucks. Wait,
Yeah, I mean, they're lucky having a conversation with her, and you know, because a lot of these millennials, man, it's hard to have a conversation with them.
yeah, it is. It really is. Brown and beige. Do you mind me asking how old are you?
21.
Oh, you're a
Oh,
baby.
yeah, baby.
Yeah, you're very mature for your age. I knew you were young, but I didn't know you were that young. You are very mature.
Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah, I get that a lot.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Is especially that you have your light skin wake up call at this early age.
That's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I kind of got it. The thing is, I kind of got it. It was there, but it really started when I just started looking on like social media and stuff and seeing like how these people were just constantly clowning light skinned men. And I was just after a while I was noticing like why are these people talking about us like this? And then I
Right.
just the longer I got around people, the more I said, yeah, this is a problem. But really, originally my channel was going to be for light skinned men only. But I
Mm-hmm.
decided to make it about both since I was seeing a lot of issues that light skinned women were dealing with too. So I was like, huh, I guess I'll just make this a light skinned people platform altogether.
So do you get that do you have like dark skinned friends that kind of poke at you for being a light skinned man? Do they say things like you're weak or something like that?
Well, they kind of do, but they really, a lot of times I hear it with like, it's more like girl talk where I'm at. We just rib each other a little bit and then we just keep it moving. That that comes out sometimes, but really it depends on like the situation.
Okay. Yeah, that you're light skinned. Are you biracial or are you a light skinned black person?
Light skinned black person.
Okay. Yeah, that I some people say that the men don't have it as hard, but I think light skinned men get it. I think it's like more covert, or it's not as because because men, I think light skinned men, they can have you if you get like a dark skinned woman with y'all are the choosers, right? So you don't have to worry about being chosen. But for women, it's more of a competition. So it's more like it's out there, it's more blatant that we see what's going on. But I see that there's like always the light skinned men, like those little memes, and um, light skinned men cry. Like it's just it's always this assumption that light skinned men are weak and they are not as masculine. And then you have some light skinned men who have this thing that they want they get into trouble because they want to exert this they want to be seen as more manly because of that. And I don't think it's necessary. I mean, I have uncles who are light, and they are like the most manliest men I've ever met. I mean, so
But you know what? To add to your point, that's something that also kind of drove me to this platform, because where I'm from, a lot of the light skinned men that I'm around, they had to overcompensate a lot of times.
yeah.
With this whole image that we have now, a lot of times they get in like trouble with like the law because they had to overcompensate and appear more masculine. And you've actually heard that a lot from even like the light skinned savior YouTubers like Angel Ramirez Jordan. But that's something that I've noticed at a young age, and it's a problem that I really, to sit up here and say that we don't get affected by colorism is just laughable to me.
Yeah, and then I wish that light skinned people, because I hear the light skinned men saying this, like, well, like if they're talking about Drake or something, and like maybe, like just for example, this didn't happen, but say if Drake cried over some woman or something, they'll be like, oh yeah, well, he light skinned, that's how we are. And I think light skinned men need to stop doing that, because and light skinned women do that as well. Like, oh well, it's just a light skin thing, we talk about ourselves, we perpetuate these stereotypes that they've placed on us by saying things like, well, that's we acting light skin, or I'm not doing that. Like, no, I'm not weak, or I don't think a light skinned man is weak or anything. If he shows some type of emotion, he's just being a human being, not a light. It's not a light skinned man thing. I mean, you see most of the and this is not to come at anybody's sexuality, but most of the men who you see in the media that are homosexual are dark skinned. So there's that.
Yeah, true. The same where I'm at. Like I remember a couple of years ago at my job, I was working like one day. It was like in the middle of the day, and I was looking, and I saw this girl, and I was like, hair and makeup and nails. But I having to like look a little closer, and I was looking like, whoa, hold on, this is a guy. This guy came to work with nails, makeup, a wig, super tight pants, and it was a dude, and he was dark, and I'm like, wow, you are gonna come to work like this.
Yeah, it's a problem, like with Billy Porter and all these people who come out there. Like, is you have to accept it, and if you can't, and I feel sorry for the men, because it's almost like if you're not willing to talk to a transgender woman or whatever, then you'll be considered a homophobic or committing a hate crime or whatever it is. So it's kind of like y'all are being forced to agree with that.
Well, I guess I'm homophobic then, because no, now that I had to pass that to somebody else. Because,
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to be forced into that. If you want to date someone who's a biological woman, then that's totally up to you. Michael Torres said, "How can I act light skinned when I am light skinned?" Right? Because I mean, what is acting light skin? Like, they don't want you to say acting black, but there's a term like acting light skin. Like for light skinned women, I think that it benefits us, because if they say like acting light skin is being more feminine, then I'll take it. I mean, if you want to be around here acting like a whole banshee, then hey, take it. I'll be the feminine light skinned woman. I'll cry, you know. I'll let you hold the door open for me, So.
but if you were to say acting dark skin, they'd be ready to throw a hissy fit.
Hell yeah. Hey, Ether. Hell yeah. They would be, I mean, they would, like, you cannot, it's always.
Oh no. Uh-oh.
You see, Ether. It's always the double standard. Now, see, they ask if light skinned women hit the wall. That Ether is somebody who is fine, and she like I think me and her are probably about this around the same age.
You know what? I
So,
think she blocked me too. I recall I seen her. She had blocked me. I don't know why she blocked me.
oh,
She showed it. I'm like, okay.
yeah, but that is truly something to talk about with this whole double standard with these with what you can say as a light skinned person to a light skinned person versus a dark skinned person. You can call biracials half breeds, or you can call us waffle colored. You can say we have
Yeah,
thin.
that's another thing I was gonna say about Charlemagne and what he said
You
about
mean Charlemagne the bum? Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what did he say to who was he
He
talking
calls
to?
he'll say waffle colored or something like that, and then he has that beige rage meter.
Oh yeah, yeah. He does that a lot with DJ Envy. Like when Envy walked off, because those guys, Deezus, what's their name? Deezus and Miro or something like that. They were talking about his wife is with him because he's rich, and he went off on him. He walked off, and Charlemagne was like, "Well, that's that beige rage," and I'm like, "What the hell is beige rage?" You know, like,
Mm-hmm.
but if I said, "Oh, that's that dark skin rage," you
I
know, that's
know.
those aggressive dark skinned men. You know how they
Yeah.
are.
Mm-hmm.
Then you will be like that. Will be like they will find your job, your children, your grandmother's house or something. You know, it'll just be on.
Mm-hmm.
They find your food, your hot dog bun, credit card, then you
Yeah,
cancel.
yeah, you can't say nothing. Like, do y'all think light skin saviors could be converted? Like, or is it this just something that we just gotta let them go?
There's not really anything you have to let them go. They're too far gone. Like like we were on like a platform with light skin motivation and that dedicated guy. And I was just spitting facts at him like left and right, and he just wasn't. It just wasn't getting over his head.
Oh yeah, I remember that dude. He was just gone.
I
Yeah.
call him Fruit Loops.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's the dude from Twitter. Yeah. Yeah, he was not having it. And like I cannot, is it some type of like Stockholm syndrome? Like you will just cape and cape for these people who cannot stand you. Even in the gay community, one of my good friends, he's a gay man and he has this thing like, well, yeah, light skinned men are more preferred in the gay community. And, there's that talk there. So, you being a gay man, I'm sure that you've experienced people talking about you because you're competing. That's like, I guess, a relatively small community. So, you're competing with other men for men. And I know that they say, well, his pretty light skinned self, he gets all the men or whatever. So I know he has to deal with it too, but he was just like not having it, trying to come at Anon and light skin motivation. But yeah, that's these saviors, man. I got blocked from China Fox. Is that her name? Yeah, China Fox. Cause she is
Oh God. She told me, yeah, she did that
Oh,
to me too.
yeah, I told her
I don't
behind
know
out.
if she blocked me, but I think she told me she didn't care about light skinned women getting I think it was over the shea butter situation, shea moisture. She got mad because the girl was in it and she was saying it needed to be more dark skinned women. I'm like, so you're gonna talk against people that wouldn't you be hurting yourself for casting for future roles or something? Why would you want to do that? She was
Yeah,
like, F women's feelings.
yeah, she's I don't
I
know
had
what.
screenshot it too.
I think she probably I know she was with that dude and they kind of like went away for a while, but I think she kind of got her light skin wake up call, but she was a little silent about it because when she started to be with Cynthia and Nyla and all those people, it was like she wasn't welcome, like they wouldn't,
Hmm.
let her speak. But I told her that because one day
Oh,
she was
really?
Yeah, well,
Oh,
that was, that's
wow.
my perception, but she was kind of left out of the conversation, and I think she just like backed off of them. But she, one day,
Oh, okay.
yeah, she was outside in the snow one day, and I think she has like blue eyes, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm outside in the snow, and it's so cold I can barely see. These blue eyes are recessive genes." And I was like, "Girl,
Oh
why?
my goodness.
What?
Why are you?" She said that light eyes are recessive genes, and I was like, "Why would you say something like that? Like, are you that desperate to like you try to minimize your features because you want people to be okay with their eyes? That should be something that their parents are teaching them, not you. Because I have hazel eyes, and I'm not about to say that my hazel eyes are a recessive gene. They just hazel eyes. Like
Right.
you're not gonna. I'm not gonna like downplay myself to make you feel better. No, because if a dark skinned woman has like a better feature than mine, I'm sure she's not going to be like, hey, I have I'm taller or I'm slimmer or something like that. But it's recessive, so like she's not going to play herself to make me feel better.
You know what?
Right.
They really always tell y'all to dress yourselves down and stuff and acknowledge your privilege.
Mhm.
They're like obsessed, but they never carry that same energy with white women.
Oh hell no.
'Cause they covered them. They covered them. They look up to them, but they hate us because they want to be in the position where I guess white women fall all over them and tell them that they're pretty and all of that. It's sick. They act like lesbians.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
truth be told, they probably want some of that too.
I know they do.
They probably. I mean, I see sometimes I see them. They do
Because
be.
it's too much of like a prison energy with them. Like you need to bow down like a prison. Like, it's like this prison bitch talk.
yeah, it is. And it's like I've experienced most of like my light skin wake up call happened on a job. And I used to be like just like oblivious to the things that were being said. Like I would just sit there and take it because I don't know. I really don't know why. I was just like, okay. And then once I started to open my eyes and like these girls not really checking for me. And it's when I really noticed it is like I was in at this job and there was like white women, Hispanic women, and like me and the other light skinned girl, and the rest were dark skinned. And they would be more friendly to the white women and the Hispanic women than they were with me. And I was like, and I'm trying to, be cool with them and have conversations. And it was just like, oh, like, and the only time that they would talk to me is if they wanted to like be in my business or, find out who I was with, or, if I had something that they didn't have or try to get in some mess. And I'm not into like the whole gossip, messy thing. So it's like, oh, she's stuck up. I'm introverted, like it may not seem like it, but I'm introverted. So it's like, oh, she stuck up. She thinks she all that because she likes skin. It's like, no, I'm quiet. I'm just observing y'all. So uh, I don't want to just because I don't want to take part in the things that you all do doesn't mean that I'm a person who thinks I'm all that because I'm light skinned.
That's just their insecurities talking again. Not really too much to really say to them in regards to that. But Ether says recessive they are recessive genes, but that's not an insult. She can't even diss herself proper. Recessive means blonde hair or light eyes. 80% of the worldwide population has brown eyes, so light are rare. Yeah, I've heard of her before. I think the only time I really watched her was when she was with Angel Ramirez Jordan a couple years
Hmm.
back. But from what I've seen, she's just your prototypical light skinned savior.
Yeah, that she is. I think she's biracial, and then they brought up. I don't know. I don't know if she's biracial or not, but I know they brought up like her having some type of relationship with some white man. They kind of like brought up things about her wearing T-shirts with like rock bands and all that. I know she can sing, so it was a whole big thing about that. But like in Blackistan, it's all about like if everything about you isn't black, then you are not a part of the community. You have to be just like black everything. Like it's just like you can't be close to any other community than black. You just have to rep that every day.
Yeah, that's in a nutshell. That's how it is, and that's universally, especially when it pertains to us. If we say or do anything that goes against their little black Negro agenda, we're out.
Hmm.
Doja Cat is just a prime example of a lot of that.
Yeah, and like you said, Doja Cat doesn't even need the black community because I didn't know any. I would see her and I was like, oh, she's cute, but I mean, I don't listen to a lot of the new music, but I would just from what I know of her, her audience is primarily like white people. So if I was her, I would be like, okay, y'all can kiss it. Like I'm not, but they find anything to diminish a light skinned woman's career. That's why Beyonce panders, which I wish she would not do. I hate that about Beyonce. It's like that whole
Mm-hmm.
she's stupid. Like well, I don't call it stupid. That was just I wouldn't have done that whole brown girl song and all that. Like it's just like girl, you have too much success and everything that you do gets compared to Normani and the other whoever to Summer, whatever her name is. And it's like, oh, Beyonce is not better. She can sing better than I mean, these people sing better than her and Beyonce stills and all that hard work that lady does. But her privilege got her there.
But what they don't realize is not every light skinned woman in the music industry has made it big. Like
Right.
Jordan Sparks, she was like in American Idol a couple of years ago, and her whole career flops, and she
Yeah,
used to sing a lot of songs. And Alicia Keys, her career wasn't really as big as Beyonce either, and
hmm
she's got like a style that you think would like resonate with people more.
yeah, she's more
I think
down to earth.
she peaked. I think when they found out about she and Swiss Beats.
Hmm
I think they held that against her for some reason.
Because his ex was dark skinned. That's what that was about. Like if he had
Yeah, that's
if
right.
if his ex was a white woman, Alicia Keys would be on Beyonce's status. If she would have taken Swiss from a white woman, oh my gosh, she would have been like praised. Like they would have been, yes, mother. They would have,
Mother Earth.
yes. And then Maya didn't make it um
Mm-mm.
as far as she should have. A Marie, Melanie Fiona.
Ashanti.
Yeah, and then what's that other Janae Aiko? She doesn't even have as much success, you
Yeah,
know.
I've seen her. She doesn't really get like a
I
lot
don't
going.
think that's is it that she got too many styles going on? They don't know where to market her because I'm surprised she doesn't get more airplay.
I think she just makes those little songs like that you get high to or something. Like she doesn't have any like ballads, so she doesn't make it as far as she
Yeah,
probably
she got
could.
those chill. Yeah, she's more chill. I think her it's like she's so chilled. It's like I guess that's I don't know. It's almost like she's a SoundCloud artist.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to describe her.
Well,
But
if she ever start rapping, she'll probably start getting
yeah, she should
Yep.
rap.
start
But
Yep.
trapping.
Even that's what Beyonce's doing, trap rapping.
yeah, yeah, but I think but according to Blackistan, I mean, Janae Aiko should be winning Grammys because she has privilege. I mean, isn't she biracial? She's like half Asian or something.
She's like triracial, I think.
Yeah, so
A lot of
Multiracial.
stuff.
yeah,
She
so
got
she's
Asian, Native, and Black.
Yeah, so why has if light skin privilege is such a thing, then I mean, why hasn't she made it? I mean, there's you can that's debatable. Like I don't get that.
It's very debatable. They really don't believe it themselves, honestly. They just say it.
Yeah, they talk about themselves
Yeah.
and like that video A9 did about that colorism show with Jada Pinkett, and he was like that young lady was African and she was out what school I don't know she was at some type of prominent prestigious whatever school, and she was mad about colorism. So it was all about men. So it's like you are going to this school, but you're worried about a light skinned woman being chosen over you for a man. Like I mean, you should be grateful that you are for one able to you have the education, you're getting the education that you're getting, but your main focus is a light skinned woman being chosen by some dude who you probably don't even have access to.
So gorgeously, Gabby asks, "Well, I've been keeping this live." Well, I'm probably only going to have to keep this live for like another 15 minutes because I have to go. But yeah, it's been a nice conversation. We really talked about a lot in these 3 hours.
Biracial Freddy Cougar says she used to work with a dark skinned man that was gay. He moved his hips harder than the girls. Yeah,
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah, they're like that where I'm from too. I mean, these guys just I be looking at them like, oof, man, they make dudes like that.
Oh, Brown and Bay, she meant, are you gonna keep it up on your channel? Like, are you gonna save it?
Oh yeah, yeah, I'm keeping it up.
Yeah.
It'll be a public one.
Oh,
Yeah.
so Crabman said that Doja was Crabman says that Doja is very pretty, but I can't support no man or woman that race play. Oh, so she was like doing that stuff, like acting like a slave. Was that what she was doing? Because I didn't even look at.
She kind of was, but it wasn't like like bad. But yeah, she kind of did.
Oh yeah, well that's foul because I'm not acting like a slave. Like, that's just out of it.
Um,
That is weird.
Yeah, I didn't really. I was looking at it, and then she had said the N word with the heart. Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, that
Oh,
can't really say. But other than that, they nothing really happened on the video. A lot of the conspiracy theories you hear, it's just something that just came out of the minds of a lot of these insecure like Negro.
so she said the N word, or it was one of the guys on that stream she was with.
I believe she said it.
Oh, okay, because I watched somebody was doing commentary on it, and I couldn't even hear what was being said, so I was just like, I ain't even trying to pay attention to it.
Yeah, that's really the only thing that happened, and that's the only issue that I have with her per se. But like all the white supremacist thing, no, I didn't really. They didn't really say anything. In,
Oh, okay.
in fact, it looked like a live with a bunch of incels, if you ask me.
Oh yeah, that group is scary. I like they give me serial killer vibes. I can't get down with them. Uh,
Yeah, they definitely look like those type from what I saw.
yeah, that's too much for me. That's something new to me. But I see like a lot of the channels like I know it's Shira 7. She was talking about them at one point, and I went to check it out, and I was like, oh, this is too dark for me. I don't know. I thought MGTOW was something to deal with, but the incels, they are like on a whole nother level.
yeah.
Oh yeah, a lot of them are like the untouchables. They're basically male feminists, you could say.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's right. They are male feminists, and I think both groups are not um, a good contribution to society because we need each other. Even in homosexual relationships, there's a masculine and a feminine energy there. So we balance each other out either way. So I don't get this, I like being a woman. So I need men. Like I don't want to like pick up on heavy things. I like my door being open, so I'm cool with being a feminine woman. I'm not equal to a man physically. So I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
Gorgeous
definitely.
Gabby said someone blackmailed her, and that's how all of this happened. Wow.
Well, it could be true. I mean, just looking at how a lot of these people are just so obsessed with her, I wouldn't be surprised one bit if they blackmailed her.
Yeah,
I'm
she.
surprised she powered down and apologized though.
And I wouldn't apologize for nothing. I've been like I would have been Chris Brown to it. Like I was so proud of him when he said that,
Mhm.
whatever nappy hair. Well, I don't know what he said. Something about good hair or something. And he was like, I'm not apologizing for that.
The hair. That's what's wrong with
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
they
was.
were about ready to. They been canceled Chris Brown over that little random comment.
Yeah, like what is he? If that's what he likes, I mean, you can see by the women he dates, you know what he likes. So why was that such a
Mhm.
surprise? They even, I'm surprised they haven't canceled. Well, I guess because Lil Wayne isn't making music, but he would always say things like, "I bet that B look better red" or something like. Because like in New Orleans, we call light skinned people red, so they would, he has this thing with talking about how he likes light skinned women. But I mean, he was married to Toya, so I don't know if she's considered light, but I didn't. I was surprised they haven't canceled him by now.
Well, they did have him in part of their little colorism conversation. So, yeah, he was. They definitely had placed him in the Gilbert Arenas and Neo crowd.
Neo. Oh yeah, yeah. Gilbert Arenas is he sees something, and his wife, ex-wife Laura Govan, she got her light skin wake up call when she was on that show, and she said that she was like, oh man, there's not no other light skinned people here. And I mean, they came at that girl hard. Like she was, and she just, I don't think she said, I think she did apologize. And she was like, I have dark skinned children, that whole bit. But it's funny how, like, we can't say that we want people that look like us, but they can say that they want people that look like them when they are.
Yeah, they say it on Twitter every day. It's an everyday thing with a lot of them. And like, oh well, why aren't there more dark skinned couples in television? And I usually say the same reason why there isn't light skinned couples on television. They just they don't really like when anybody challenges their narrative.
Not at all.
But you know what? I think I'm about ready to shut the stream down. But it was nice talking to you too. And
All right.
you too.
Thanks for having me.
Nice.
And
Yeah,
emancipation.
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. And you and Light Skin Motivation, please have that conversation because I think y'all can fix it.
yeah,
Hmm.
I'm going to have to talk to her after this stream. Make sure I didn't rub her the wrong way.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think so. I think she's probably cool with it.
Yeah, but it was nice talking to y'all, and I'll probably see y'all again on probably one of their next streams.
All right. Talk to y'all later.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye bye.